wherever their dreams take them. Visit az529.gov.
There's a lifetime Roth IRA rollover limit of $35,000, sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canyer with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Wherever you go, take us along. Listen to our live stream on our free Fanatic app. Download it today.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Wednesday here on the Daily Blender. They all run together.
Yeah.
I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Phil to fill in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And yes, lots going on in the NFL. We will talk about that very soon. A lot of people getting signed, released, traded, or intended to be traded once they can. But a lot of stuff is happening. But today actually is Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
Which is basically like the Catholics' original version of the "I voted" sticker. You know, you get like the little the
mark
ash
on
smudge.
your head. Yeah, yeah.
I'm an ash man. I enjoy it. Yeah.
Like you haven't been ashed.
I can get behind an ash, a good ash.
Okay. I thought for a minute you were seriously getting ash.
No. I try to make sure that, when getting ash, it's a nice clean ash.
Well, there is another option. Today is National Cheese Doodle Day. So if you had somebody come up to you with a Cheeto and just you could get an orange mark on your forehead. I don't know if that's sacrilegious or a waste of food, but something.
Nothing like having a nice cheese doodle when you're behind a good ash.
So
But
never get that fresh ash.
It's the first day of Lent, and they say it's a 40-day season of prayer. So I guess you're supposed to pray for, I don't know if it's 40 days straight or once a day for 40 days. I'm not sure how the whole thing works, to be honest. I know I'm Irish, but I'm not Catholic. So then I see something else, and I'm thinking, maybe I've got another direction to go. The Vikings, I just saw this today, that the Vikings believe that in heaven there was a giant goat whose udders provided an unlimited supply of beer.
Oh, wow.
They are doing it right. Gosh darn it.
I feel like I want to look into that. I mean, I don't know what the religion is called, but you've got my attention.
Drinking beer from a goat's udder.
It's the unlimited beer part that is really important here, Randy. Doesn't matter what faucet it comes out of. Well, yeah, maybe I guess it does, because there are certain faucets if it's coming out of, that means you're in hell.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So anyway, for those of you who observe, is it Happy Ash Wednesday? I think it is.
I think it's Somber Ash Wednesday.
Okay. I get confused because if you say Happy Good Friday, they're like, well, it wasn't so great for Jesus, was it? And then there's so if you say, I don't know what to say half the time. If you say happy or good, whatever, you know,
it was kind of like yesterday. It was like Fat Tuesday. Does one say Happy Fat Tuesday, or stay skinny on the Fat Tuesday, or do we drink on Fat Tuesday? It's an interesting one. Yes.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Maybe you don't say Happy Fat Tuesday to your wife.
Yeah,
you just don't do that.
No, baby, look at the calendar. Look at it.
Yeah, and she's beating you senseless.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know all the rules, but all I know is that's what's going on today. So,
all right.
Yes.
So, but it's a good week, Fat Ash Tuesday, Wednesday,
Fat Ash Wednesday.
Fat Ash Week.
Fat Ash Week. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
The religious type should put us in charge of their PR. I feel like we were really making headway here.
Absolutely.
I believe you are right. Yes.
And hey, I heard isn't the Pope feeling better? That's kind of nice. You know, everybody was starting to go, "Ooh, time for a new Pope." And then he's just like, "I'm getting better," and now he's I guess he's recovering. I guess.
Well, he
Pretty
saw
sure that was spot on of the Pope.
Thank you.
He did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw Conclave not win any Academy Awards. He's like, all right, I got to stick around for one more Pope film.
Yeah. Yeah. He probably thought it was real, and he's like, "Oh, not today.
Not today. You're not picking a new Pope over me.
He seems like a nice enough little guy. I mean, a Pope. He feels, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't mind him as much as I minded that Nazi Pope we had there for a few minutes. That wasn't right. Yeah, well, whatever the case, doesn't matter. I'm not Catholic. So good on you for all you who do observe. So I did see something this is irony. This is why I want to take Alanis Morissette, sit her down, Clockwork Orange style, tape her eyelids open and show her this and say, isn't it ironic? This is ironic. Somebody stole the "Thou Shalt Not Steal" painting from a church.
Oh my goodness! What?
Huh? Is that kind of like on the same plane of stealing a Bible from a hotel room or stealing a Bible anywhere? But
no. I mean, it's specifically a painting telling you "Thou shalt not steal."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Somebody steals it,
and somebody stole it.
If I were the priest there, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, all right, that's cool. You know, I almost have a feeling somebody did it just to be ironic, and they're going to show up and put it back when nobody's looking. But they're mad about it. The church is mad, and they're furiously scanning through Facebook Marketplace trying to find their "Thou shalt not steal" painting.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I wonder if it was like next to all the other sins, deadly sins. I wonder if it was next to it, and then that was the only one that's the only thing that could put a cherry on top of the crime.
Makes it even better. The only one stolen was that one. I mean, there's plenty of the 7 deadly sins that I would steal. You know what I mean? Put that on the wall, sure. But anyway,
nobody would touch the sloth and laziness one.
Sloths are just they're adorable.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You've seen the sloths, like they're in the middle of the highway and they're like, and people are like, "Oh, we got to go save the sloth." The sloth is like, "I knew you were going to do this." You know, they're actually kind of a-holes. They're just like, "Let's watch this," and then all of a sudden everybody's got to stop traffic. I feel like if I ran over one sloth in front of the other sloths, they'd speed it up.
I don't think so.
And
no, I can prove it by doing that with an actual pedestrian. And they're run over one pedestrian, the rest will speed up. That's all I'm saying.
And they're more considerate than the swans. The swans will take their sweet ass time and scare you. But
if you try to get out, they're coming at you.
Yeah, but the sloth, if you, like you said, if you move it about a mile away, they won't come back for about a week, and it'll be gearing to get back to the highway. Yes,
exactly. Yeah. Swans are bastards. Total bastards of the animal kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
So rude.
Yeah, and they crap everywhere. Last Awesomeness says local zoo has an option to hold a pet sloth if you want.
I'm pretty sure that is terrifying to the sloth. Like scientifically, they've seen
we're
it
moving so fast.
Yeah, because they're like holy, and also sloths, I believe, are poisonous as well. Like to the touch. Like that's partly why they can.
You made that up.
I'm not
poisonous to the touch.
Poisonous to the touch, or at least maybe even it's a specific sloth. But I think it's the majority. Let me do some research. Let me enlighten.
How lonely would that animal be?
I don't think the sloth is poisonous.
I think you just confuse that with like a frog or something.
Yeah. Toads they're very poisonous.
T-Licious says beer out of a goat's teat. Definitely something Donnie would do. Well, but only if it's Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, that's true.
Moist One says nothing like the smell of fresh ash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, stand there by a campfire. I understand. Big George says hello. Hello, Big George.
Hello, Big George.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to get to that in a second, George. Here's the thing. Last night was not surprising, but surprising. Not surprising. Arizona beating ASU 113-100. I told you that the ASU would be spunky in this, but they would not win. That is exactly what happened.
Well, but U of A didn't cover, right? I mean, it was 17 points, wasn't it?
Right. So up yours, Arizona. But Sun Devils played them close, not that close, but closer than you would have imagined. And in fact, it got within a few points at one point, and then Arizona put on the pedal and just pulled away. But okay, that was all right. It was not embarrassing for ASU.
Yeah, no, they held up their end of the bargain and just lost like gentlemen. Went down
Yeah.
with the ship.
Yep. And so that was not surprising. That was not surprising. What was
Okay.
surprising, in fact, when I woke up this morning and I got myself a beer and I sat down and I started going through stuff and I was like looking at the scores and I saw the score for U Arizona and ASU. I was like, well, all right. And I kind of just went past the Clippers and the Suns, and I was like, "There's another one." And then later on this afternoon, I actually, as after I printed up my stuff, I was just like, "Oh my God, the Suns won!" my eyes, I didn't look that close, and I was just like, I just saw Clippers 117, and I was like, "All right, I guess that's
All right,
that."
yeah.
I didn't. And then I started to hear about how Kevin Durant and Budenholzer were giving each other the business there, and like they got angry at each other or something. And so I figured, well, we must have lost. And so then I came back around to it, and I was like, holy crap, we won that. We beat the Clippers. Now everybody's, is this the moment?
Oh gosh.
Now, Phil, I've seen the moment happen. I was there watching the game with my kids. With the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Corbin Carroll hit that ball, and it, boom, all of a sudden they won the game when nobody thought they were going to win. And I was just like, man, this feels different. It felt like the moment, and it turned out to be the moment for the Arizona Diamondbacks that season. We were like, wow. So now this could be the moment. I don't know if it is the moment. I'm not going to jinx the moment. Anybody watch the game? Did it feel like the moment?
No, it
Did
was,
you watch the game?
Yeah, and I mean I admit as well as you did, I turned out at 23, and then all of a sudden you start to get notifications. Hey, it's a 15-point lead. Oh wow, I'm shocked. Okay, it's a 10-point lead
from like
23 points.
23
points. Yeah, no, it was an incredible win. Also a win against somebody you needed, right? Because that is somebody that you are directly in competition for. That dropped the LA Clippers from the 7th spot down to the 9th spot, putting some space closer
still
between
a lot
the two.
of games, though.
Oh, a lot of games. That was just a very good win to have. And the Clippers right now are on their own downward spiral, but that's beside the point.
Hooray!
Yeah, hooray. The Phoenix Suns, however, this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday. They have too much talent that they are probably going to just stumble their way to being the absolute bottom of the barrel in the play-in tournament, number 10, and have to win out in order to be given the luxury of being swept out of the playoffs. So if you're talking about this is the moment that they start to not like to win more often than they don't, yes, possibly, I suppose.
It's the moment they start to play to their full potential.
No, that moment. That ship has sailed. That ship went down with the Clippers last night at some point in the arena. There is no way that they will realize the full potential of the talent that they possess on that team simply because roster construction will not allow them to do so.
That just tells you how dumb people in California are. They had to put a picture of a boat in the Clippers logo so they would know that when they say it's the Clippers, it's not about getting your hair trimmed. They thought, well, we better put a boat on this thing so people not understand what this is about.
Or paper clips. They were that was the big that was the big
the little squish, the squeezies clipper.
Clippy, or Clippy from early Microsoft. Yeah.
Big George says, Jeffrey, I watched the game and it was a great comeback for the Suns, but I don't think it's the moment. If they string along a sizable winning streak, then I agree with you. It's still too early to tell. You never know. It might be the moment, might not be. I mean, I'm going to say probably isn't.
Well,
let's be honest. It probably isn't. It was probably more of a bad moment for the Clippers than a season turnaround moment for the Suns. Oh, we sure needed that, though.
Well, right now, they've got a good stretch. Whenever you're looking at people in front of you, you want them when they're spiraling, whenever they're in a downward trajectory. Right now, they're hitting the Clippers, and they've been on a losing streak of their own, especially against Los Angeles Lakers. So check mark on that. You got the Denver Nuggets, who have just been abysmal for whatever reason after enjoying a nice long winning streak. So maybe now's the time to get them. Then you get Dallas, freshly off the Kyrie downtrodden news. Memphis Grizzly has been tumbling in the odds and in the standings. So that's the time. And then you got Houston. That's probably the first one, Sacramento. So you do have a very tough schedule ahead of you, no doubt about it. But you are hitting the teams that are ahead of you if ever you want to hit them at the right time where they are slumping and in just a stupor.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it'd be nice. Wouldn't that be nice? I feel like it'd be nice. I mean, I'm just saying, you can't say it is, you can't say it isn't. Let's see what happens in the next couple of games.
Well, I guess is nice guaranteeing that you won't get the number one overall pick, because then that's nice. Because if you get into the plans, you are guaranteeing that you don't even have that 1% chance of being a really good lottery team of never getting the number one pick that other teams have been able to go up to. Because the Suns do have an ability to keep and maintain their number one pick. That would be the best way that this season ends.
Well, first of all, the Suns getting a number one pick is a snowball's chance in hell, as my father used to say, because that whole thing is rigged. They don't even show you how they select the ping pong balls or whatever in this lottery to see who's going to get the first overall pick in the NBA.
Show us your balls.
Second of all, they do it wrong, and third of all, I don't think the Suns are trying to lose. They're just losing. And last night, you saw something that has been kind of hidden for the Suns, and it's called passion and competitiveness. And last night, the Suns showed that passion. You saw KD. He was fist pumping guys, and he was patting guys on the back, and he had that passion. He had that burning desire to win this game. That's what the Suns have been missing all year. That's right there is what the Suns have been missing. You don't
think they just now figured this out, do you?
I hope not, but good night, 11. You've got a world-class athlete out there in Kevin Durant, and you got Devin Booker, who has been phenomenal in his early career with the Phoenix Suns.
He's the highest scoring Sun in history.
And then you have, it's just, they were flatlining all year. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong for it to mention, but I didn't see any fire. I didn't see KD running around the court, patting guys and, fist bumping guys and, really slapping high fives and stuff like that. And last night, you saw that. You saw it happening for the Phoenix Suns.
I guess maybe this was just, like I said, the moment where they were down and they're like, you know what, let's give this our all. And they did. It started to work, and that starts to get exciting for you. And it starts to give you more confidence, and the winds change, and then everything starts to feel easier. The basket gets bigger, and that's what you saw right there. So, yeah, I do have questions. Why haven't we seen this kind of enthusiasm before? Is it just about the fact that maybe Durant had a bet with Harden? I don't know. I don't know what this was about, but it was just nice to see.
Well, I'll tell you what is most concerning. And you ask, is it the moment that they figured everything out? Just point 1A to a bullet point that shows everything that they have not figured it out. Ivica Zubac is over there, their center for the Los Angeles
allowed
Clippers.
To say that on actual radio?
Apparently,
I think
I am.
so.
Yeah, he is.
I believe so. Yeah.
He scored 35 points, was a plus 22 on the field. And his regular season statistics, his average for scoring this season is 16 points. So we've allowed a 19-point differential here for a big, just continuing to illustrate that the Phoenix Suns do not have size. And that will be a perpetual problem going forward, especially with the great teams that they've got. They've got Boston coming up, who offers oodles of size. They got the Bucks coming up after that. The Grizzlies, they didn't, but watch out. The Nuggets are next. Guaranteed triple-double for Nikola Jokic, just because the Suns have nobody to defend that man.
Silver Pop says, did Beal get hurt again, or did he use some PTO last night?
No, he's out. He did get hurt. He's going to be out this next game.
But listen, that Gillespie kid we got from the G League, he came in and he had a nice showing, 10 points, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 for 3 from 3-point range. So, yeah, he was part of the spark that helped them get the thing going. So respect to Colin Gillespie today.
Every time is just give me that young, hungry guy who's trying to make a name for himself, trying to make the gosh darn team.
You sound like Moison right there.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Mhm.
I mean, perpetually, people always interviews ask, like maybe like offensive linemen say, hey, who's the guy? Is it Max Crosby? Is it Myles Garrett? Which guy is the worst guy to go up against? And they say, without a doubt, every time it's the guy who just got elevated from the practice squad who's just trying to make the team because I don't know what's coming at me. He's going to you see him like itching and gearing and ready to go. So, last night, that was his moment. Great job. Great way to have a moment. Enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Fish Tank says, yeah, swans are the worst. Are we allowed to hunt them anywhere? He says, like everyone goes duck hunting, but I never hear about swan hunting. My wife and I were flipping through the channels the other day, and she found this show about Alaska. And she's like, we should leave this on for the dogs, And then I'm like, we're watching, and all of a sudden these hunters come across some swans out on a lake, and she's like, oh my God, they're not going to shoot them, are they? Because, if you shoot a duck, everybody's like, that's fair enough. You shoot a swan, a pretty bird, everybody's like, oh my God, you monsters. But you think about it, it's like, maybe them swans is good eating. Maybe, because they're kind of big.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they're so angry all the time, though. Maybe they don't taste good.
Mm.
That's a good question, though. Does anybody eat swan?
Well, I think it's because geese and ducks are able to reproduce at a higher rate than swans.
Isn't a swan just like an albino goose?
No. Whoa. I don't know. Now that you said it, I don't know.
Okay, we have to take a break. During the break, I'm going to find out why don't we hunt swans, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about that, more NBA and a whole bunch of NFL because free agency is starting. Well, you know how it goes, earlier than you think. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
My best friend died suddenly, and now his wife and kids have to move out of their house. I had no idea he didn't have life insurance. If I could go back, I'd tell him how easy and affordable protecting your family can be with SelectQuote. In 15 minutes, a licensed insurance agent found me a $500,000 life insurance policy for only $18 a month. They compare many of the nation's most highly rated insurance carriers to find the right coverage and price for your needs. In the last 40 years, they've helped more than 2 million families secure over $700 billion in coverage. Even if you have a health concern, SelectQuote agents can find you the right policy at the lowest price. Don't wait until it's too late. Get peace of mind that your loved ones are protected with life insurance.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-480-5454 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-480-5454. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-480-5454. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The Rich Eisen Show.
What do you do if you're the Tennessee Titans? I would go with Cam Ward. I would say we don't want to be up here any longer. Or they do fall in love with Shedeur Sanders. With all due respect to Will Levis, I know we have these conversations over and over and over again that you have to be patient. You have to believe in your guy. They unfortunately didn't draft him.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 1580. The Fanatic.
Randy Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So it turns out the swans are not generally hunted because they are protected. No, because of their declining populations in the past, and then because people think they're purdy. But it is interesting how we decide what to eat and what's a pet. It's just basically if we think it's cute. So,
Yeah, no one's bemoaning the great ostrich, eating.
Well, those things are just weird. I've had an ostrich burger. It's a very lean meat, and I didn't care for it, to be honest, because I like a little bit of extra fat in that meat to make it moist and juicy.
See, for me, I want an ostrich egg. I wonder how that tastes. That's the one that I want.
Giant omelet, or you just fry it as one big egg.
I'm down for either. I'll try it. I'll try it either way.
Over medium, please.
Yes, please.
Then, of course, then the next thing I had to look up was, do swan taste good? They say yes. They say it's similar to wild duck with a lean, slightly gamey flavor when cooked properly. So that explains it. We ate too many, had to stop eating them for a while. Now nobody eats them. And the other part is, they're so pretty. You look like a jerk if you kill one.
That's
pretty much. Fish Tank says, give me some swan neck meat. Just pick like the worst part of the
neck meat.
There's that's got to be amongst the smallest parts. That and like its little ankles, I suppose.
Give me the thighs. I like dark meat. I do.
Amen. Yeah, same.
Fish Tank says, I read that. Hey, congrats. This is probably, I might throw up. I don't know. No, congratulations, LeBron James, being the first NBA player ever with 50,000 points in the regular season indoor playoffs.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
God bless him. Greatness is shown yet once again. We bow in reverence.
Don't think he needs any more blessings. He has everything.
Yes, he does. He does. Certainly, he does, Randy.
$1 billion.
But except for one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jordan was better.
Oh, gosh.
And that's all there we all need to say about this. But he's playing at a high level. I don't care for the man, but I'll tell you what, as far as he goes as a basketball player, man, he is still killing it. Still. In fact, he pointed this out himself. In 28 games since he turned 40, he's averaging 26.4 points, 54.1% shooting, and then 42.3 from 3-point, 8.2 rebounds and 8.1 assists. And he basically shows those averages compare to his last MVP season, where he was almost exactly the same. 26.8 points, 56.5% shooting, 40.6 from 3, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. In some categories, he's doing better now than in that MVP season. Other categories barely dip. So LeBron James, I didn't think he'd be here this long.
No, nobody did.
When he was talking, is like, I want to just make sure I get a chance to play with my son, Bronny. We're like, yeah, good luck with that. And here he is.
Or even if people thought that he could get to this level, we thought maybe it was if you remember the end stages of Vince Carter, maybe even Tim Duncan, maybe even Dirk Nowitzki, where it was like you could definitely see the decline. There still would have been just a fine rotational player elevated by their status and legacy in the league. But no, he is a legit all-star, legit all NBA player right now. And I know that you might scoff at this, but he is an MVP ballot worthy player right now.
I just said that, and he's right.
Yeah.
There's no argument here. Now, what I don't like about him is the way he whines all the time with the refs and the flopping. I don't like his personality in game. Outside of that, he does a lot for his community. He does a lot to help other people, and he doesn't seem like the worst guy on the planet. But I just don't like him. I don't like him on the court.
Well, I mean, I think the game itself lends itself to that. If you go back in time, I think we all have rose-colored glasses whenever we take a look back in the NBA that was bygone. But if you look at it, Magic Johnson never had a foul, never committed one. And he would tell the refs time and time again that he never did. There was a difference.
Oh, there was. If you watched him back in the day, it was more pleading. Now it's changed from, oh, come on. It's changed from that to anger and
Disbelief, shocking
instead
disbelief.
of hey, oh, come on, help me, to it's become more toxic than when Magic was doing it.
I think that simply because LeBron James has lasted this long, that he's been a part of almost like 2 to maybe even 3 generations of NBA basketball, that we unnecessarily accredit LeBron James with all the negatives of the
he was
current
singularly responsible for all of it. I'm just saying I don't appreciate his personality when he's playing on the court, having seen many different teams that he's played on and many different situations he's played in, and been like, what a jerk, Come on, man.
Where I will agree with
but you can't deny his game. You can't deny his greatness. You can't deny his physical. Just nobody drives the basket with a giant FU like LeBron James.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. And undeniably, I think one claim that he has that is undeniable. He is the greatest athlete of all time. You can debate whether or not the greatest basketball player of all time. Undeniably the greatest athlete, the greatest physical specimen we've ever seen in certainly in sports history.
I don't know.
Who do you want? Michael Phelps? Maybe Serena Williams?
You're listing off different body types for different kinds of competing. So in the same way, you can't necessarily just crown LeBron James with the greatest athlete, period, without the context. And there are other athletes you could say was the best of all time in what they do. They work out and they prepare themselves in a certain way. So it's not you can't just say plug LeBron James into any a sport and he'll be the best athlete out there. And no, not necessarily true.
No, but he doesn't need to be the best. I simply state that he is the best competing, the best amongst the most skilled. But I think most so the fact that he is able to operate within the bounds and physical limitations that a sport like his does demand, as well as coerce that with skill. I think he certainly has elevated beyond any other prior pro athlete, whether you want to go into Olympic sports, whether or not you want to go into events, whether or not you want to go into pro athletes. He is certainly by and far the best, and certainly the best performing of all time.
I don't think you can just plop that claim out there like that. I don't think.
I think he plays a sport specifically for it. I mean, if you were to go to I don't see a sport that is more so a combining of skill and physicality more so than the NBA. Like you go to boxing, there's pretty much, I mean, there is skill and physicality, certainly.
Nobody in the NBA can fight for real.
I can say that LeBron James could transfer some of those skills and it would go well.
When have you seen him in a fight?
I haven't seen him in a fight, but I'm saying that his quickness and his quick twitch ability that he showcased in the NBA would translate very well into the boxing arena. We've seen his skills translate very well into an NFL arena when he was playing in high school. And we've certainly seen his ability to receive passes, identify passing lanes in the NBA that would be some equivalency there to the NFL. The one that I suppose I couldn't properly evaluate him in would be hockey, but it's just that is a difference of just complete, like that takes balance.
He's got weak ankles, couldn't stand up on the skates.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is Phil's hot take of the day.
When he can hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball over the fence, I might start to give him some accolades as one of the greatest athletes ever.
That's so unfair. You look at like Big Paul.
You said he was the best athlete of all time. So how's that unfair?
Well, it's unfair because
you said he had quick twitch ability. So here comes the ball.
Yes, but I'm saying that
twitch that thing out of the park.
But that's the only thing. Like there is no other athlete that is asked to do everything at a perfect level and held to that standard. And I don't have a doubt that he would be an adequate and fine. If Deion Sanders could translate sports, I have no doubt LeBron James could translate sports. I don't need to see him hit lollipops into the bay in order to equate, because that has never been a true testament of
really
of strength.
It's never been a decider of strength, but it certainly is a decider of hand-eye coordination.
I mean, did you ever think Big Panda over there in San Francisco was the paramount, the paragon of athleticism?
No.
No. So I'm saying like his ability to hit a baseball does not limit his athletic
Anytime
ability.
you want to go to the batting cages, we'll crank that sucker up and let's see how you do.
Big George says, Phil, your brown nosing of LeBron's a little disturbing. Great athlete for sure, but greatest of all time? Might need to pump the brakes there.
I'm saying the only people that could possibly compete with him are Olympic level event athletes, and maybe even then just the triathlon, where it truly showcases athletic ability. That's all I'm saying.
Walter Mellon says the Admiral, David Robinson, more of a physical specimen than LeBron James. They just played a different style of ball. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's amazing how
he was frightening. David Robinson was frightening.
Yeah, it's amazing how in the NFL we have metrics to quantify this with the combine, and it keeps going up. People get faster. But in the NBA, somehow it was retroactive. We've been getting not as impressive athletes currently in the
because
in the
it's true, Phil.
It's not.
Now it's not universal. LeBron James is a beast of a player. There is no denying that, but the physicality of the NBA has reduced. And when I say physicality, I'm talking about the hip checks and the elbows and the permission to foul. That has changed. And then the physicality and the basically build of basketball players has slimmed down substantially since then. So you can say, oh, we're just a bunch of old guys looking back to the 80s and 90s, but there is truth to what we are saying about how different the play was. Now it's a lot of threes, and that's something that people are aggravated about. But there's a lot of threes. There's a lot more shooting. Back then, there was a lot more work in the paint, taking it to the basket, a lot more physicality, and a lot more permissible physicality. You had to be bigger and tougher and able to take it to play basketball back then. There's just no denying it. But I'm not saying LeBron James isn't a physical specimen today. He would have been a physical specimen back then too.
Certainly.
But if he had learned today and played back then, it would have been a really tough day for him.
I just simply disagree. I mean, we even look at Michael Jordan, and if you want to go to him, we saw just how the advances in medical science and ability helped elevate his game from where he was just the skinny jump
By
man.
the way, who back in the 80s and 90s spent $1 million on themselves every year to be in shape for the next year? Because that's what LeBron does. He spends $1 million on his body and himself. Now, I'm all for it. That's smart.
Yes,
that's a great investment, and it's none of my business, but nobody did it back then, guaranteed. And yet we still had David Robinson. We still had Michael Jordan. We still had Scottie Pippen. We still had a long list I won't bore you with.
I agreed, but I mean,
that physical specimen is lab made almost.
Even if it is lab made, then that makes my point that it's like you cannot get more perfect because I
don't know. See, now if we're talking, it comes to basketball, but when it comes to everything, no, you have overstated.
It's just a simple Rocky equation. Is Drago the best athlete ever in the boxing world? Yes, because I must break you. Yes, because he was curated to be so.
Now it was just a movie, right?
I'm just saying
that was pretend.
But Rocky somehow has to overcome that. It doesn't take away from the fact that he was made in a lab. I'm just saying. Science.
Tyrannosaurus Tex says Wilt was over 7 feet tall and a track star and a pro volleyball player. He could bench press 500 pounds. Good point. Good. So there's another nominee for
certainly
best athlete ever. Slow-Mo Zoe says, what is Phil smoking? He's not even the best basketball player.
You don't have to be the best basketball player in order to be the best athlete. Although I would disagree. I would say that he is the best basketball player, but that is beside the point because it's two different arguments.
He may not be at this moment, but you give him the average on his entire career, and holy crap.
Yes.
T-Licious says, Jim Thorpe just called to disagree. Donnie says, have you seen LeBron swing a golf club?
No.
Lost Toby says, you keep the panda's name out of your mouth.
Yes, the panda down in San Francisco. Yes,
he said some swear words in there. I can't say.
I'm sure he did.
Big George says, "Oh yeah, sorry, forgot that you can't say certain words on radio." Oh, I've been doing this for this entire segment because people are upset with Phil. Boomer Sooner says, "What a wasted segment right there." Wow, Phil, you can go now. That's ridiculous. Shut up, Phil.
Well, look, I love the
Boomer's
facts.
very
and
upset.
I was going to say I love the facts and complete logical argument you made to come back at me at. But thank you,
He brought receipts.
Yeah.
too.
Woo! Yeah.
Quiet Cannon says there's no physicality in the sport of baseball. A lot of baseball players use performance enhancing substances to hit the ball over the fence. So you can't use, hitting home runs to be the standard for a great athlete.
Well,
You
no,
know?
I wasn't suggesting whether he'd be a power hitter or not. What I was suggesting was hand-eye coordination. One of the hardest things to do is hit a round object that's thrown at you with a round object. That's what I'm trying to say.
Buffalo Mike says, Phil, put down the hash pipe. Consider Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, Dave Winfield, drafted in 3 sports. You are wrong.
But also it's the
You
longevity.
did say he was the best athlete of all time.
I did say so.
All time. You said all time.
I
You didn't
did
say all time.
I did say all time.
Why would you say all time? That was not this.
All time? Because he's lasted the longest. Like simply the body that has lasted the longest
In
does
your young
offer a lot.
life, in that 20-year span, he's forever to you. But for the rest of history of all time, other things have occurred. Did you even know who Jim Thorpe was?
Yes, I mean I know who Bo Jackson is. I know who Deion Sanders is, and those I would say are certainly on the Mount Rushmore. I think the fact that LeBron James has been able to avoid injuries says something. Obviously, that does go to the pro style game that he is playing. Certainly, I mean if he goes to NFL, certainly he will be more likely to be broken down. I certainly understand that, so I give some reverence to those two as well.
It's $1 million a year.
Yes, and $1 million a year. I mean, there's a reason why he is the model that everybody's trying to emulate.
888-368-1580. Walter Mellon says, I think any gymnast that does multiple routines is more of a physical specimen and an elite athlete than LeBron James, who plays one sport, and he does certain aspects of that sport well. In other aspects, though, of that sport, he is trash.
Also, keep in mind
Well,
the
I
gym.
don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah, I was going to say the gymnast element of it. That lifespan is so short. Like that is from like the ages of what, like 13 to like 27? I don't know. So it's a very short lifespan.
I barely watch that stuff in the Olympics. Base Slappa says, put Phil in a landfill, please. Shut up, Phil. Where is the new guy? Has Phil ever played sports? Yes, Phil played sports. We all have.
Yes, and I'm an avid pickleball player. Thank you.
Okay, now you
A
just I
legend
tried
on
to
the
help
court.
you, Phil.
Wow.
Do you see where I tried to help you?
You hear the air deflating out of your story now, Phil. Do you hear it?
I'm a
All right,
legend.
Got a bunch of texts coming in, so we're going to have to wait and pick this up on the other side of this break. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only, must be physically located in Arizona.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You look amazing. What have you been doing?
You've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can help provide you with semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text MAJOR to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie to see if you're eligible. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text MAJOR to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text MAJOR to 200-300. MAJOR to 200-300. 2100-300.
My best friend died suddenly, and now his wife and kids have to move out of their house. I had no idea he didn't have life insurance. If I could go back, I'd tell him how easy and affordable protecting your family can be with SelectQuote. In 15 minutes, a licensed insurance agent found me a $500,000 life insurance policy for only $18 a month. They compare many of the nation's most highly rated insurance carriers to find the right coverage and price for your needs. In the last 40 years, they've helped more than 2 million families secure over $700 billion in coverage. Even if you have a health concern, SelectQuote agents can find you the right policy at the lowest price. Don't wait until it's too late. Get peace of mind that your loved ones are protected with life insurance.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-480-5454 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-480-5454 or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-480-5454. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
A career in law enforcement puts you on a course with unlimited paths. At the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, your career can take you virtually anywhere you want to go. Detention officer, deputy sheriff, and emergency dispatcher are just a few available career paths. As you gain experience, you may also earn specialized assignments or follow a leadership track. Pursue your passion and explore rewarding and exciting career opportunities with MCSO. Learn more at jobs.mcso.org. Honor the law, serve the people. Sponsored by the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Arizona's new home for sports.
Today, pleasure here on 1580 The Fanatic. So Phil, with the hot take of the day, decides to utter the words, LeBron James is the best athlete of all time. Or something to that effect.
No,
Pretty sure that was the message, though.
That was it. That was the fact, and them is the facts. Sorry if you don't like it.
Yeah, it's your fact. I don't believe that.
Is that like my truth? It's my truth.
That's a very condescending thing to say to somebody, isn't it? It's your truth.
Yes.
But in this case, it's true. You're the only person who thinks that LeBron James is the best athlete of all time. If somebody wants to text in and share that, I'll move you to the front of the line. Right now, there's a long line of people who have something to say to Phil about that. We already had a long line of people say something to Phil about that. But here we go. 888-368-1580. By the way, Randy, do you agree with Phil?
That LeBron James is the best, the greatest athlete of all time?
Right.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I do not.
Do I agree with Phil?
I don't know. Do you?
I don't think I do.
I think the only arguments I'm willing to hear are football players because the nature of their sport, purposefully and with distinction, certainly
You don't get to set the rules.
No, I'm not setting the rules. But what I'm saying is that if you come at me with, somebody who never played football, where they are not taking hits that purposefully and
football.
No. But what I'm saying is that the sport that they have chosen to partake in. It takes a lot out of you. It literally shortens your career. Part of the athletic ability.
Hockey can do that too.
Hockey can do that too. I would agree. But the fact that that LeBron James is in a sport, and part of that athleticism is his ability to maintain peak physical conditioning up to the level that and age that he is at, is a part of the argument of athletic.
So, okay, I'm going to put the disclaimer here.
Okay.
From this text, LeBron James is the greatest athlete of all time. But it's your girlfriend, Phil. It was your girlfriend. Sports girlie said that.
You know what? She's a brilliant woman.
She's a good one. Absolutely. She's got your back. Even if you're wrong, she's got you, man. She's got you. I think deep down, she knows you're wrong.
Certainly a person who is a recipient of Fat Ash Wednesday. My goodness. Love you, baby.
Tyrannosaurus text says Yao Ming was technically lab made. China's tallest man and a female Olympic basketball player were forced to have a child to create Yao Ming.
Well, that was a success. I don't know if that's true, but yeah. But if it was.
Navy Devil says Bo Jackson was a badass. He did play baseball.
Bo Jackson.
He did play the football.
Yeah, no, Bo Jackson is a good argument.
But LeBron's better according to Phil.
According, yes.
Regal Beagle says, "Is there a way listeners can vote to turn Phil's mic off?"
You know what? That would be a great thing if we could somehow have like a dunk tank but not that, but just like, once you reach a certain
Like
threshold,
American Idol, vote your microphone off.
yeah, $10 and then my mic goes silent for like 10 seconds. There we go.
People will be online at 2:50. Moist One says, "Bonnie Blue is my goat." No.
Oh, yes. Great endurance.
Tioa says, "Ricky Henderson, Satchel Paige, also great athletes." There's no denying it.
Yeah, great athletes. One would argue, though. I mean, it's kind of like the same idea with LeBron James. It's just they are so far and ahead of their peers. But my ability to say that it is so much more impressive with LeBron James is that everybody seems to be working on a much more even playing field as opposed to those days. Anybody who took their physicality and their peak physical conditioning seriously seemed to just already have an advantage.
Lost Toby says, "Phil is the Josh Rosen of radio."
Wow.
I have a hot tub.
T. Licious says, "Damn, Phil, you went full bronzexual nut hugger with this take."
It's not. I didn't even think that this was that debatable. I mean, how else do you explain that he is this good, this peak at his age for this long, and not playing a protected
I already
position?
told you. $1 million a year to build up and fix up and tone up and take care of everything. It's both medical, it's athletic, it's all that stuff. He's, and listen, I think more players should do the same thing. If TB12 is something that is being taught to people, I think LeBron Jamesism it should be taught. I don't know what he calls it.
But if it was that simple, Jeffrey, I mean, we've seen other look at Black Mamba, look at Kobe Bryant. He's somebody who took his physicality at a fanatical level and never got garnered the same results that LeBron James has.
Are you actually going to sit there and say that LeBron James would have survived that crash? Is that what you're really going to say? That if Kobe Bryant was a better athlete, he would have been the only one to survive that crash?
No.
That is very crass of you.
No,
that's what I heard, Randy. Isn't that what you heard?
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Quiet Cannon says, "Hitting a fastball over the feds takes a lot of skill. Try hitting a golf ball on a team. $3, 20 yards. Control the direction of the trajectory and the spin. Very few people on the planet can do it." I'm not sure what the hell you were trying to text in there, but I think we understand.
I think there was a point somewhere in there. Yes. If your thing is that if you were to plop a certain athlete of any time, any sport, any generation into any sport that is not their own, that they have made a name for themselves, who would you have the most faith to perform in? If you had to bet your life, if you had to bet your entire estate, whatever, LeBron James is certainly on the top.
Wayne Gretzky.
You would not bet Wayne Gretzky to be like a great football player.
I wasn't really listening. I just want to shout out Wayne Gretzky. Sorry. Fish Tank says, "I got a new workout routine where I ride the elliptical bike through the whole blender segment. I take a break with the commercial, then I bike through another section.
Wow.
It gets me 30 minutes on the bike, and I'm now 10 pounds down. Maybe I need to be writing a fitness book." Yeah, it sounds like you just did.
Yeah, congratulations.
Do you feel yourself pedaling quicker when Phil says crap like what he just said earlier? Slow-Mo Zoe says, "LeBron is also mentally soft. Players 20 to 30 years ago would have gotten in his head."
20 to 30 years ago.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't. Also, there is nowhere. He has one fault, and that is when he first joined the Heat. And as we've seen with many teams, sometimes it takes a bit longer to gel. He lost to what is one of the historical best runs of any NBA team, the worst gauntlets to go through for the Dallas Mavericks. They managed to get through it. That's a historical team with a historical player in Dirk Nowitzki. But besides that is the only case that you can say that he was mentally soft. That is such a weak take.
Boomer Sooner says, "Phil, have you ever seen a decathlon?"
Yes, I have. And that's why I'm saying like those like the people that do the triathlon, decathlon, all that stuff. But I would place a lot of faith if I gave LeBron James 3 months to he had to do that in order to win $10 million or whatever it could be. I would put a lot of money and faith.
He has $1 billion, I don't think.
Yeah. So maybe 100 million, whatever it was, to where he would take it seriously, where there was a legacy attached to it, whatever it was to take it seriously. I would place a lot of faith in LeBron James to fare very well in that.
Tyrannosaurus Tex says, "What about MMA? Those guys take way more punishment than football players. Someone like GSP or John Jones, or even a boxer like Floyd Mayweather, his footwork would translate to soccer."
The footwork would translate to soccer. Where I don't know if it would translate very well is his ability to integrate skill as far as like being able to handle a ball, being able to do hand-eye coordination and stuff like that with what Randy was alluding to. I don't fully know that. And plus also his size offers him an advantage. So certainly LeBron James doing what he can do skillfully at his body type is probably the best hybrid of a mix that we've ever seen. So that's where part of the athleticism comes in.
Walter Mellon says if Jordan didn't go to college and he went right to the pros, LeBron would still be chasing his records.
That doesn't even, that doesn't,
point.
That is literally.
Well, here, look at the 50,000 points that LeBron has. He played 20 straight years. So you didn't get that from Michael Jordan. So just hanging around and doing something for a long time doesn't necessarily make you the best, but to be able to do what he's done for 20 years is hugely impressive. And he is still a dominant player. Donnie says, I almost drove off the 202 hearing how Phil said LeBron's the greatest athlete of this generation. Where is this new guy? Vinny Testaverde played into his mid-40s, you know. Well, you can't say Vinny Testaverde is the best athlete of all time.
Hold on. Yeah. First of all,
hold on just a minute.
If it's of this generation specifically, there is no argument. This generation specifically, I think when you go historical, then yes, we're going to outliers the best of all time, certainly. But certainly of this generation, there is no question that he is certainly pushing forth. He is the stock horse upon which everybody else is trying to get to.
You know what I say that, Phil? You know what I say that? Hey, Randy, flex for him.
That is
flex
true.
for Phil.
That is true. Oh, look at the Randy. Do we have a permit for those?
Nothing. You can't say nothing about LeBron James now.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Careful, Randy. I don't want you to tear something.
Thanks.
T-Licious says Jackie Robinson lettered in 4 sports at UCLA. LeBron can't say that. Whistling Gerbil says, yeah, John Bones Jones.
John Bones Jones is certainly an interesting one. Again, he really does go around the body type meets skill, certainly. But we haven't seen him do anything else. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know about the hand-eye coordination beyond what he can do against other big men where he has a skillful advantage.
Regal Beagle says the problem is that Phil discounts players who have actually thrived in 2 sports. He just speculates that LeBron could do it. It's a good point.
Well, he has played other sports. He was a all state player in football in high school. He never went to college, so he never did another sport. And he's done other sports. He's played celebrity golf. He's done all this stuff, and he's had good showings.
Tiddlywinks. He played Tiddlywinks.
Oh,
He played a great
nice
tiddly.
game with Jacks. Tia says Michael Phelps, Curly Culp, Jackie Robinson, Tony Gwynn. Slow-Mo Zoe says, did you ever see Michael Magic Bird go after a fan like LeBron? He's soft. Oh yeah, when he would I want these guys ejected. Yeah, those guys never did that. Not really to what Phil was saying, but you're right. He is kind of a baby about stuff. Just a Tip says, you want to talk tough? You ever met my ex-wife? Okay, well that's not really.
Yeah, that's out of the bounds. Yeah, no, I'm sure she's very tough.
And it says 5 Jordan would absolutely beat down 5 LeBron.
I'm guessing what he's saying is a team of Michael Jordans would beat it, which is absolutely not true.
I don't know. You have to run that through the simulator, but we got to run up to the next break. We'll see you in the next hour. Hour 1's over. Hour 2 next. Daily Blender.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hungry for something exciting? Then come experience what's new at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 Valley locations. No one does Asian-inspired cuisine better or more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, it isn't just dinner. It's Dinnertainment, a memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy Hour is always on fire with their daily specials. Try their new $12 bar menu items, Wagyu beef and Mongolian pork sliders, chicken or beef satay, and 3 delicious flavors of chicken karaage. 2025 is on fire at Kasai with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road and Thunderbird, and now open in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's KASAI Teppen.com or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Phil to fill in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And all right, so that whole mess was only started because I was actually just saying, hey, congratulations, LeBron James, 50,000 points. He has set the network. He's set the not network. He has set.
He has
the,
brought forth the network of athletes of our time.
I could be having a stroke right now. I don't even know what's happening. But let's move on to some other things because pretty much everybody thinks you're on drugs, Phil. But yeah, Just the Tip says Phil is like that excellent drug you can take to stay alive, but you get anal bleeding.
Yeah.
You get kidney failure, bruise easily, and believe everything Phil says.
Yeah, you trade in one problem for another, you know, got to make you feel alive.
I'll be honest with you. I don't understand what's so big deal about this 50,000 points. I did that on a pinball machine once. Nobody gave me accolades. I didn't show up on SportsCenter. I don't understand what the hell's going on here.
I think it's a little bit different when you're shooting a basketball than shooting a pinball.
You think?
Yeah, I think probably might be a little harder.
I did it on asteroids too.
Oh, asteroids. I love asteroids.
Oh yeah,
but that's not what we're talking about. All right, let's talk baseball. Let's talk some baseball.
Let's talk baseball.
We had to congratulate LeBron James on 50,000 points. Now we're going to congratulate the Mets for topping spending. Now this is for the year 2024. They spent $333 million.
Yeah.
Wow. Last season.
Yeah.
Followed by the Yankees, who spent 310. The Dodgers spent 270. And then I was really surprised to find the Diamondbacks were above mid-range on salaries. They paid $177 million.
Yeah, one of the highest salaries for the Diamondbacks in recent memory.
Well, still, but they were still way down the list. At the very bottom of the list, well, it was the Oakland A's with $66 million. The Pirates had $87 million. The Rays had 90. The Marlins had 98. It was the Tigers that brought everybody into the 100 range. And, after that, who cares? I mean, all right. So who went to the World Series?
The Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Dodgers and the Yankees.
Right. So
Number 2.
they had $581 million worth of players out there to get that to happen. The Mets spent 333 for nothing. Oh my God!
They made the playoffs.
The thing that sunk the Mets last year was the fact that a couple of their pitchers were done early in the season and did not make it back. They also had some key injuries, and they just didn't play up to par. They were not playing up to snuff. They did make the playoffs. They did get into the playoffs, but unfortunately, they did not make the big game, which is the World Series. So, bottom line is the Mets were there too. They paid quite a bit. I think this year's going to be different for the Mets. They have increased their pay, if you can believe that. They have increased their salary base substantially.
Let me remind you.
See what happens.
The NFL salary cap this year is over $270 million.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 3 teams paying NFL salary cap money. Keep in mind, there are more players on an NFL team than are sitting in the dugout for a Major League Baseball team.
Yes, but 10 times the amount of games, Jeffrey, in the regular season.
All right, that's fine. That's fair. But a season is a season. You know what I mean? So whatever the case, $5.1 billion is how much money was paid out in salaries in Major League Baseball last year.
And
just astounding.
And a lot of
team,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm just going to say that each team has a 40-man roster. So if you equate that out,
that was more than I thought there was.
They have a 40-man roster. Not all 40 guys are in the dugout. There's usually there's not 40 men on the field. Usually there's about 20 guys that are on the big team.
And what does it go down to in the postseason, Randy?
I can't remember now. But the team has to get it down in the postseason. But the bottom line is, I think there's 20 or 25 guys normally on the big league team. And then you've got your prospects peppered throughout your organization playing in, high A ball, triple A, double A. They're moving around quite a bit, and then they call them up and play on the big. But they have to be on the 40-man roster, and in the postseason, the 40-man roster is limited.
The postseason roster consists of 26 players.
There it is, 26. So,
well, the Mets spending $333 million in 2024. You're like, wow, but that's not even the most. I mean, the year before, Mets paid $420 million, and the Yankees had spent $430 million. I'm sorry, they actually spent $430 last year because they had to pay $100 million in luxury tax. So, crazy amounts of money being shoveled out for the Major League Baseball, and I wonder, if the Mets feel like they got their money's worth. I wonder if the Phillies feel like they got their money's worth. I wonder if the teams in the top 10 feel like they got their money's worth. If you get to the World Series, you feel like you got your money's worth. So Dodgers and Yankees both feel like, yeah, we got our money's worth. We got there, didn't go our way. Or, hey, look at us, we got a trophy. Everyone else in the top 10 is just sitting there going, oh, God. That was a lot of money for nothing.
Well, like anything else, any other business, you got to pay to play. If you want to be successful, you have got to reinvest in the team. You've got to reinvest in your business.
Say you wouldn't have a little buyer's remorse. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like you go in, it's like the biggest lottery night, right? And you buy 100 tickets, and you're sitting there and you're excited, going, "Oh boy!" And then you nothing, not even a Powerball. And at the end of the night, you're like, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't have done that." Yeah, that's how it probably feels in Major League Baseball.
Well,
after you spend over 200 million, 250 million to get nothing for it.
It's not a crapshoot. These guys are very calculated on what they spend and why they spend it. Now, teams that want to, they want to win championships. The Dodgers, they want to win championships. The Yankees, they want to win championships. Other big spenders, the Red Sox, they ended up third place in the American League East. And the Orioles, not historically big spenders, ended up second place. Another a couple of teams to think about. The Houston Astros, they won the AL West, but the Seattle Mariners, not usually a big spender team, ended up in second place in the American League West. What I'm trying to say is these are businesses, and these guys have complex equations that they work out on how much they're going to get from ticket sales, how much they're going to get from the hot dogs and the beers and that sort of thing. What's going to be the kickback also from the TV contracts to each one of these teams throughout the year? So it's a very calculated business, is what it is. Some guys are just happy to collect TV money and whatever they can get from people being in the seats and that sort of thing. That's all fine with them. They don't really care about a championship, a world championship like the Marlins or the White Sox or the teams like that. They just don't have the money to invest. Therefore, they make what they can and keep moving forward.
I don't know if Justin Tip is drunk or he says, Randy, my oldest son is crew chief for 2 spring training facilities in Mesa.
Wow.
He says he got this for lunch and he sends over a picture of a sex toy.
Wow.
And a pizza. He says, thoughts? I really don't understand the connection here.
Well, what type of pizza? Is it a sausage pizza?
That's pepperoni, slightly burnt.
Okay.
Well, I mean, pepperonis are elongated, right? I mean, they're sort of
phallic in nature.
Understand, or did he accidentally send me a?
It might have.
I'm going to ask the company to make it where no one can send photographs.
Buffalo
Mike says, "Oh no, we're not going there anymore." Buffalo Mike, we're not talking about LeBron anymore. But he says LeBron's not even a top 5 basketball player of all time.
You're just wrong.
Top 5.
He's
Jeffrey
probably,
gonna resist.
I think he is. I think he is.
Yeah, you're just wrong.
But see, you have to also pause and take a step back and consider the rest of history that we weren't around for before you just rush out to say he's wrong. I would give that some thought, Buffalo Mike. Hefty Lefty says grease from the pizza is probably just lube for the toy. Plus, it smells better. Moist One says 2 pizzas, pepperoni. Okay, I'm not reading that. Fighting Wampa says, I never played Asteroids, but my dad has hemorrhoids.
Heyo.
So do I.
It's not the same thing. It's really not. Anyway, so that's the numbers from last year. It'll be interesting to see what happens this year as far as the money goes. But my God, $5.1 billion.
Well, I think what that number more so than anything else represents is just that you want to at least, even if it's just off the money alone, the figure alone, you want to at least appear like you're a contender. Because
everybody on the Athletics is like, we'd like to be traded now.
Yes, exactly. Because they're just, their ownership is shamefully just pocketing the money, trying to find a better and better deal to where they just get all the profit and have to do none of the work that the Yankees and the Dodgers and all these teams that are spending oodles and oodles and billions and millions of money are doing. I think I have much higher respect for Toronto Blue Jays, the Atlanta Braves, teams that are willing to spend money on occasion, but maintain their status as perennial contenders. Like they do have a shot. Every year you start off with you got to have respect for the Braves. Every year you got to have respect for the Guardians because they are just teams that they might just get a hot year where they just that they can make it to the World Series.
Look at the Diamondbacks when they went to the World Series. They were probably paying a similar amount, if not less, in that year. So
yes.
Fighting Wampa, thank you for that. So here's the thing: the NFL cap, 279 coming into this year. That would put them in 3rd place of Major League Baseball teams. So think about this: you're that close together for Major League Baseball and NFL. I don't know what the cap is or what the average NBA team is putting out in salaries. But I'm going to say this. How far off are we? 10 years, 15 years, 20 from $1 billion per team in the NFL cap?
Oh, it's getting close.
Right now we're at 279. Close. So,
and for where? For NFL?
I mean, it's getting
10,
close.
15, 20 years. How many years before that cap is $1 billion?
Well, what was it last year? It was like 230 something last year.
It actually jumped up pretty hefty. I think it's 240 or something, 230. Yeah.
Yeah. And it jumped up $40 million. So, man, I could say maybe Maybe 10 years.
All right. So in 1994, would you either of you guys like to take a guess of what
So
the
31 years ago.
31 years ago? So I guess let's go with 1995. 30 just an even 30 years ago. Would either of you like to guess what the salary cap for each team was?
80 million.
80 million, and you're going to go for Jeffrey.
I said 60.
60, way under. $37,100,000.
That would make us way over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we both lose, Randy.
Yeah.
I knew I should have
Not-
gone
yeah.
with
So
$1.
$1.
So if we go a 10-year increase, what do you think it was in 2005? If we started out at 30, what was it? 37 million. What is it in 2005? Just a mere 10 years later.
Randy, nobody wants to go
$1.
first.
$1.
You can't start at one. Okay, 75 cents.
75 cents. Okay, fantastic. In 2005, it went up to 85 million. 85
See, I was
million.
going to say 80. I still would have been right.
And then if one more time, if we go to 2015, now we're going into the $143 million threshold. So with how exponential it's growing per year or per every decade, I think that we're not, it'll be a while, but I am thinking that probably maybe in like 40 years.
40.
40. Yes, because it's only going up about like 50 to 60 to 80 million per every
What about
10
with
years.
these tariffs?
Oh, well, with the tariffs, maybe 35 years.
Sure
I
hope those
see.
work. That's all I'm going to say. I sure hope those work. I mean, and I wonder if that's going to be relevant when the teams go to England and Ireland and Germany and Brazil and Mexico and all those places. Yeah, not my problem. Anyway, so we're going to start some trouble now. We had trouble in the last hour, and I'm sure talking some baseball is going to get us in trouble. I don't know if you noticed yesterday, I avoided it, tried to avoid it because I knew it was coming. There's no avoiding this conversation. Pete Rose.
Yes.
Pete Rose, they're looking about, Rob Manfred is considering reinstating Pete Rose and letting them put him into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It has come up as an idea, as a thing. As you know, Pete Rose passed away, and everybody's like, oh, Pete Rose should be in there. Well, okay. So here we are. He's actually reviewing it, looking at the petition. You know, Rob Manfred having himself a drink, kicking his feet up, reading through all the documents. So
if he can read.
Well, okay. So I guess the question is, would you want him to be a Hall of Famer? I think he's perfectly fine to be eligible as a Hall of Famer, as simply put, as just a player. If we've seen in other sports, their Hall of Fame have differentiations between, you know, Jimmy Johnson, who we just saw retire, is a Hall of Famer in 3 different categories. But all a football lifer. He's a Hall of Famer in college sports. He's a Hall of Famer in the NFL. And then now he's a Hall of Fame broadcaster. If we can make those differentiations between those 3, even though it's all encompassed in football, I think that we can say that Pete Rose, simply as a player, specifically as a player, is a Hall of Famer.
As a player, sure. But because of what happened, and he was banned permanently, it wasn't a lifetime ban. It was a permanent ban. The rule says he is permanently ineligible. So permanent means forever, not just during his life, not eligible after his
Well,
death.
technically, isn't lifetime ban? Isn't it?
The rule
his life?
says permanently
okay.
ineligible. He cheated. He lied
didn't
and lied and lied. He lied about it and lied about it and lied about it. And he was a jerk about it when he did it.
Oh,
That's the
yes.
thing that got him banned.
Yes.
Was if he'd have said, okay, yeah, I did it, they would have punished him. And then a certain amount of time later, he'd have been welcomed back with open arms. But he was an a-hole about it. I mean, seriously, if you go back and read the stories and read the accounts and read the reports and even listen to some of the recorded phone calls, you're like, oh my God, Pete. But listen, there's no disputing Pete Rose cheated on baseball.
Well, he didn't cheat. I would disagree that he
The
cheated.
rule is you don't gamble on baseball.
Yes,
and at the time, here's the thing. The Major League Baseball Rule 21D states any player, umpire, or club or league official or employee who shall bet any sum whatsoever upon any baseball game in connection with which the bettor has a duty to perform shall be declared permanently ineligible. And that rule has been around since 1921. If you look back at the Chicago Black Sox, you'll know why. There's been movies about that. Pete Rose violated both those rules as a player and as a manager. In 1989, Rose was found to have violated the rule and was punished accordingly. And in 1991, the Baseball Hall of Fame decided, well, if a player's ruled permanently ineligible by Major League Baseball, they can't be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, but there is a distinction.
And guess what else? 2004, Pete Rose admitted it. He says, yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, he wrote that book, yeah.
So there's no wiggle room. There's no reason to reinstate him. There was no reason to put John Gruden back in the Ring of Honor by Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everything he typed, everything he emailed, everything he said, which was reprehensible then, didn't stop being that way. Pete Rose cheated and was a jerk about it, and he got busted and punished for it. There's no reason to go back. But I'm still mad about the damn Astros.
But I must push back there. That is why the Astros are specifically. We must not use the word cheat with Pete Rose. He cheated, I suppose, the most of all the pitchers out of
the rule of baseball, which was to not.
No, he broke
gamble.
the
He
rule.
violated. Okay,
He
I'll
violated.
change it to violate.
Yes, okay, because that is a
violation.
Because if he cheated, he would be with a sporting edge that is not allowable to the rules or whatever. He would have gained illicit gains for himself or his team, whatever. So I think that is a very important distinction. That being said, I do think that that's why whenever I consider the Hall of Fame, whenever I consider anything that is legacy impactful, I do think that he has certainly lived out his punishment. Obviously, he didn't get to see.
No, actually, the punishment was permanent.
That's true.
Permanently ineligible, which that was the rule that was in place, I believe, 70 years before he did these things. So, sorry, what?
He lived out his punishment. That's
he did. The punishment is permanent.
It was permanent for him.
There's no living out permanent.
It was permanent for him. I do say that anytime you're talking about the Hall of Fame, simply put, can you tell the story of the league without this player, without his contributions, whatever? I do think that Pete Rose comes up more often than not, and especially as a player, was a 5-tool player, all around player, was the embodiment of hustle. Whenever you talk about baseball and where his status is in the league, again, simply put, as a player, I think he does deserve to at least be
as a player. But it's unfortunate. He broke the rules.
At least he should be considered as a player. Randy, have you moved and wavered at all since?
Look, I agree in one aspect that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame as a player. However, I will tell you I agree wholeheartedly with what Jeffrey's saying. I also agree Barry Bonds does not belong in the Hall of Fame. I also believe anybody else that broke the rules in place should not be inducted into the Hall of Fame, period. The end. That's the way I stand on it. Now, I will be quick to say that in this country, every day in this country, there are reprobates on the street because the judicial system does not jail them or punish them accordingly. I will say that. But in this case, because of my beliefs, I don't think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
A lot of second chance people got the second chance to murder another person, and they took it.
Murder, rape, and mayhem every day in this country, and they don't respect the justice system, and they continue along those roads. Now, I do agree that Pete Rose asked for forgiveness. He did admit his wrongs. He did come clean. And he did admit to betting on baseball games, specifically Cincinnati Red games. But still, he knew the price, and yet he made the choice, so he has to pay the penalty.
Listen, we've got a lot of people with a lot to say about this. We'll take a break. We'll come back and pick it right back up. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call. 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
The Rich Eisen Show. The salary cap in the NFL is going up and going up by a lot. Now, a lot of folks may wonder, what does that mean for you and your team? Guess what? If it was $255 million last year, and it can go maybe up to $281 million this year. What that means is if you're going to start scrimping on a running back, you are a complete and total moron.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 1580, The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. So we're, I guess, considering the same thing Rob Manfred is, whether or not Pete Rose should be reinstated and put into the Hall of Fame. I really appreciate that so far I haven't seen the, well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying text. Oh, I hate that. It wasn't even the thing about cheating or breaking the rule or gambling or any of that stuff. He was just an arrogant and just belligerent SOB when they were trying to sort the thing out. He probably would have been forgiven and put into the Hall of Fame had he not just acted the fool. So, you can argue that if you want. But if you've read and seen what I've seen, I don't think that's necessary. But let's go ahead and see what everyone else has to say. 888-368-1580. Base Slappa says, well, Trump pardoned Rose. Well, Trump does not work for the Hall of Fame or Major League Baseball. Navy Brad says, Randy, would you like a U.S. Navy hat?
Well, I would wear it in your honor. You served in the Navy. I would certainly wear it in your honor. Sure.
And he asked if I would like a Marine hat, a USMC hat. I didn't serve in it, so I don't know that I'd wear it. My son did serve, but I'm good, man. That's fine. You don't have to buy nothing.
No.
Beer Bob says, I got no problem with Pete Rose going into the Hall of Fame. He should already be in it, but if they put Pete, then they need to put Shoeless Joe Jackson in as well.
Well, there's a lot of things they would have to do if they accept Pete Rose into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you got to rethink all of it.
The Black Sox, Shoeless Joe Jackson.
The difference is
a part of
Shoeless
that.
Joe, there was no evidence that he actually did, take the money. He took the money, but he didn't. There's no evidence he actually cheated the game.
Well, I understand that. But he was part of the scandal.
Fair enough.
And he has to pay the price.
And he did. It's been 100 years.
He didn't have to take that money.
No, he didn't have to take the money. Back then, the amount of money these guys made was not quite what it is today. So taking that money was harder not to do back then. But you're right. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. Shoeless Joe should not have taken that money. If he didn't take the money, he would be in the Hall of Fame right now. Absolutely right. And should they put him in? No, probably not. Probably not.
But
it pains me to see that.
If you put Pete Rose in, you got to put Barry Bonds in.
And you got to put Mark McGwire in.
Right.
Well, the difference being, though, is that at least Barry Bonds, amidst all the controversy that he had, was at least on a ballot. Same as Alex Rodriguez and all them. He was on a ballot.
He was at least on a ballot?
Yeah, he was at least on a ballot where Hall of Fame voters.
He should never have been on the ballot.
Agreed. But at least he was given the chance to make a case to politicize and try and rub elbows and say, hey, but reconsider this. Pete Rose was never given that chance because of his own doing.
Right.
Buffalo Mike says moral relativism is a hallmark of snowflake ideology. The message about betting is in the clubhouse of every Major League Baseball team.
Exactly right.
There are no exceptions. You get nothing. You lose, sir. The Roid Monsters also excluded.
100%.
Yeah.
If you break the rules set beside you or in front of you, then you do not get the rewards. Period.
Devil Hawk says nothing is permanent on this planet, Jeffrey. Anything can be changed. Be the change you desire. Well, I don't desire any change in the aspects to this. It pains me that Shoeless Joe's not in there, but if you go down the reasoning that I gave you on Pete Rose, that applies to Shoeless Joe too. And it's a shame, but that's what happens when you break the rules, cheat the system, do the wrong thing. And but here's the thing, what you said, though. It's interesting, Devil Hawk. Nothing is permanent. Anything can be changed. Here's who would have to say, we're going to change that. Now, will we have the same respect for them? If they do, I won't. If Major League Baseball goes back and says, all right, we're good. Or, you know what? The Hall of Fame doesn't need Major League Baseball's approval. They could just change their mind too. But they made a decision to do things the way they did that back in 1991. And so, yeah, you're right, though. They can change their minds. They can change the rule, and then they can let him in. I just hope they don't. Fighting Wampa says Pete Rose faked his death. Once he gets in the Hall of Fame, he's going to show up at some card signing event in Las Vegas. Charlie Hustle's biggest hustle. Random texter says, why is Shohei Ohtani still playing baseball then? He didn't cheat. He didn't gamble. It was the guy working for him. He wasn't a fall guy. The guy working for him not only used his name, but robbed him blind of a lot of money.
And that wasn't even an investigation conducted by the dodos over there at MLB. That was a federal investigation that found that out and cleared it.
Fish Tank says Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame 30 years ago. Yeah, it's a shame that shame he lied. Shame he broke the rules. So, oh well. Oh well. Mr. Wilbur says, I'm sure there are more times than not that Jeffrey would love to remove my Hall of Fame status. That's not true, Wilbur. I removed the Mister from you. I don't remove your Hall of Fame status. Moist One says, if it wasn't for Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, most sports talk shows would avoid talking about Major League Baseball like it's the MLS. That's not true. It's not true at all. That's 0% true.
I would agree with that.
Jonesy says Barry Bonds arguably has a Hall of Fame career before he took steroids.
He does, but
why are we so averse to consequences in this planet? In this country?
That's the thing right there. That's what I'm trying to get across. People want a second chance, and they think they deserve a second chance. I mean, you look at the NFL; it's full of people that don't deserve to be playing in the NFL, and yet the NFL has allowed them to do that. Then you look at Major League Baseball. You look at Pete Rose. You look at the baseball writers, by the way, not Major League Baseball. The baseball writers don't want Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. They don't want many of these guys that were implicated in the roid stage, the roid era of baseball. They don't want them in there. They don't want Mark McGuire in there. They don't want these guys who tarnished the name of baseball to be in there. So I guess it's just where you're at. I mean, it's NFL or MLB. What are you going to do?
Tyrannosaurus Tex says Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and A-Rod should be in first, especially with Ortiz and others in. And he also says, not excusing what Gruden did, but he was one of the many, but was selected to be the fall guy in the situation because he was a broadcaster and not a league employee anymore. Wait, was there a bunch of the same sorts of texts that Gruden sent in conversation that came from other officials? Did you... I only saw Gruden's. So if there's others, those guys should have been fired. But anyways, back to what you're saying. He became the fall guy in the situation because he was a broadcaster and not a league employee anymore. And more overarchingly was the fall guy to protect Daniel Snyder. I think this is now that Daniel Snyder is out thing with Gruden back in thing. Boy, I don't know. I mean, I think that trying to take Dan Snyder out, Gruden was just sort of collateral damage, and then that became, like, oh my God, the press, the media got like, oh my, one of our own. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he was a fall guy. I think he just took some shrapnel from what was happening to Dan Snyder. Slow Mo Zoe says, I agree with Randy. He belonged in the Hall of Fame as a player, but now he's passed. Just let it be. T. Licious says, ask Ray Fosse if Rose is a Hall of Famer.
Hey, Bob Fosse is an absolute first ballot Hall of Famer.
Not Jazz Hands Bob.
Yeah,
We're talking Ray Fosse.
Ray Fosse, yeah.
We'll explain it to you later.
Yeah.
Raven Kid says, I'm all for criticizing some Dodgers, but there's actual evidence of the guy robbing Shohei and trying to impersonate him. So sadly, Shohei is in the clear.
Yes, Shohei is definitely in the clear. That will not stain or tarnish his legacy whatsoever.
Moist One says, what second chance? Bond was never caught or suspended by Major League Baseball.
Bonds was caught and was implicated in the Balco trial. His name was in an evidence book. Major League Baseball didn't take action because their commissioner at the time didn't want one of the superstars of the sport to tarnish baseball.
Hey, we got a Suns text.
Oh wow, the one.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, they go quiet and then they start coming back. And the Suns text says Durant hopefully rallying the squad last night from 23 points down to smack Clippers and need a playoff push.
All of that is true.
Yeah. I mean, I do not see the route. I mean, again, they are hoping that they can somehow just survive and get all the way to the 10, maybe even the 9th seed, so that way that they can win 2 games in a row in a one and done series to get the luxury to face the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's
I think with the Suns text, I think we all agree Pete Rose should now be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Raven Kid says comparing Ortiz to Clemens, Bonds, A-Rod, that's a joke. Tell me you're a Yankees fan without telling me, right? Moist One says, exactly. Major League Baseball didn't take action.
Thank you.
For some reason, the Suns bot isn't responding.
Well, again, they're on a delay, so it's going to take a few moments.
I'm very disappointed. The AI is like, because I said, who the hell is this? The AI is like, oh, I don't know what to say. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Other assorted things to talk about. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-367-6289. 800-367-6289. 800-367-6289.
Optima Tax Relief. Restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hungry for something exciting? Then come experience what's new at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 Valley locations. No one does Asian-inspired cuisine better or more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, it isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire with their daily specials. Try their new $12 bar menu items: Wagyu beef and Mongolian pork sliders, chicken or beef satay, and 3 delicious flavors of chicken karaage. 2025 is on fire at Kasai with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road in Thunderbird, and now open in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's KASAI Teppen.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
Did you know that daily multivitamins boost your health on the inside and the outside? It's true. Multivitamins with folic acid boost energy levels, improve your mood, and promote overall wellness. And if you decide to have a baby, they can help prevent birth defects in a pregnancy. That's why the Arizona Department of Health Services is offering a free 3-month supply of multivitamins. Visit azdhs.gov/PowerMe-A2C for free vitamins.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Health Services.
If it's local,
we talk about it.
1580 and 99.3.
The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. I am re-Xing or re-tweeting or whatever you want to call it. Fish Tank wasn't kidding around. He does the Daily Blender diet. That's not diet. The Daily Blender workout. He rides his exercise bike, and he's got the Daily Blender, our TV show version from the YouTube, up on his big screen. I appreciate the Ireland banner there too, but he's got it up on the screen there, and he goes just a couple of segments listening to the show while he bikes furiously, and he's lost 10 pounds. When did you start doing that, Fish Tank? That's the thing I want to know. biking like you're doing for 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, while watching this show, I wonder how long it took you to lose that 10 pounds. So he's biking furiously, while Moist One, his workout is something else to himself furiously, which probably I don't think we're going to retweet that. So anyway, very cool, Fish Tank. Very, very cool. Raven Kid says, I hope the Suns stay competitive. I got some awesome tickets for when the Rockets come to town at the end of the month for my birthday, and I want to be a good game, a competitive game at least. I think they will.
Competitive game.
I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, they might. I think so. I hope so. I don't know, man. Tyrannosaurus Tech says, Chowd was right about one thing. Ortiz shouldn't be compared to A-Rod or Bonds. They played the field and he didn't. But F the Yankees and go Diamondbacks. Chowd. Who's Chowd? Trying to think of who he might have misspelled. Do you mean Chode? Did you call somebody a Chode? What? No idea what's going on here. But okay, Chowd. I had a name. I had a new texter nickname earlier today, and I forgot it. Dang, it was a good one too. I was really liking it. Oh well. Moving on. So Alex Ovechkin, as you know, he's getting closer to breaking Wayne Gretzky's record, making NHL history. He only needs 11 more goals. 11 more goals.
Yes.
Now, he realized, hey, some people are paying attention to this. So he has partnered with Hockey Fights Cancer and the V Foundation for Cancer Research, and it's now the Great Chase. Great being GRA.
Yes.
The Great Chase for victory over cancer. And so basically, every time he gets a goal, he will donate a dollar amount equal to his career goal total. And
I see. Okay.
How many is he up to again? 884? Is that
so? Each time it'll be $885, $886, 800, so on and so forth.
Right.
Okay.
And so the other part is that's going to get matched by Monumental Sports and Entertainment, who owns the Capitals. And then from this, he's also saying, hey, you want to get on this? Hey, how about a donation of $8, for his jersey number or any amount that they can give. And they say 100% of the donations will go directly towards pediatric cancer research through the V Foundation.
That is fantastic, man. Good for him.
Nice way to turn it into something even more positive. I just love Alex Ovechkin. The more I hear, the more I see, the more he does. Man, tip of the hat for sure, right there for Alex Ovechkin. So, anyway, that was pretty cool, right there. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Has the price of eggs gone down yet?
Not yet.
No, but again, as talked about earlier in the show, I do want to see if they've gone up so much. I wonder if they're comparable to ostrich eggs, and if so, I might just be forced to try.
You might as well just try it. Listen, bucket list it. Just do it. What are you waiting for?
Where does one buy one though? I mean, do I have to go to that ostrich farm? Yeah, I was going to say, do I have to go to that ostrich farm that I see all the time
down the I-10?
Yeah. Do they sell ostrich eggs? How often does an ostrich lay an egg?
Rooster Cockburn. No, I don't think it's. I think it's Cogburn, Moist One. That's also a good question. I don't know. I don't know how often they lay the egg. Does anybody know anything about ostrich eggs for real? Because Phil wants to try one.
I love me some eggs. So if I can get like 5 servings of ostrich, I think it's up to 8 servings of an egg that you get of a normal sized egg in one single ostrich egg. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Of course, it might taste weird though. It might take. Have you ever had eggs from different animals and chickens? You're used to the chicken egg, so then you try a different egg. It might have a different taste to it. And you might be like,
yeah. What else has eggs? I know like alligators have eggs.
Well, ducks, geese,
I've never had duck
swans, ostrich, emu, all birds, even a robin's egg. I don't know if you can eat it.
I wonder if you can eat alligator eggs. I would love to.
Oh, people do.
Down in the bayou, I'll eat alligator egg.
You specifically want an ostrich egg.
Specifically, yes. I want to. Because it's so massive that I want to just. It's a mountain. It's a personal mountain I want to conquer.
Wait a minute, random texter. Have you had an ostrich egg? He says an ostrich lays an egg when it's damn good and ready to. Well, I mean, that goes
But
for
it's
any
true.
animal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting Wampa says they sell ostrich eggs at Rooster Cogburns. You can actually get the egg there. How long are they good for? I mean, like, could you bring it home and you got to eat it right away, or a day or two?
I mean, to be honest though, if I'm going out and I'm making the trek, I'm gonna eat it that day.
Yeah, Rooster Cogburns is yeah, you're right, Scratch Me, because it's down at the ostrich farm halfway between here and Tucson.
That's right, not Flagstaff. Yes.
He says
Tucson.
also you're gonna need a Dremel to crack that thing open.
A drill, like a drill bit. Is that what it was
A
supposed to be?
Dremel is it's an etching tool.
Oh, okay.
And you're gonna want to have it like
right above it, yeah.
Right, sitting there and just kind of at the top of the egg, try to just because or else, so you can't just crack it like a regular egg.
Yeah, and also you got to be careful. You don't want any shell in it.
Slow Mo Zoe says, I've had ostrich egg. Does not taste the same. It's not bad, but it's not like chicken.
Huh.
What would you like it? Can you explain the taste at all, or is it just you got to find out for yourself? Fish Tank says, yeah, the fish tank workout is badass. He says, my workout is old Milwaukee from the trunk of my Buick. Just lifting that and taking it in the house from Albertsons.
I definitely suffer from the I refuse. I do as much as I can to only take one trip bringing stuff in from the car. That is my biggest one.
Oh, by the way, I guess over at Albertsons you can get a dozen eggs for $3.97. So seems like
whoa, they're coming down.
Limit 2. Wait a second. It says expires February 4th.
Yeah, no, see, that was before it all. Before it all went. Yeah.
That's expired. Moist One says snails have eggs, but I prefer their trails. Yeah, that's not right.
But isn't on a serious note, isn't that a escargot? Snail eggs?
Something wrong with the French, I'll tell you that. Big George says, why has Phil become more annoying since he joined the Weekend Warriors? His takes are becoming just as bad as Ralph's. He's been hanging out with the wrong crowd. He's been hanging out with Ralph too long, who loves to reap praise in the Dodgers and the Lakers.
Hey, how dare you, sir? I've been this annoying forever.
No, I can attest to that long before we even met Ralph.
How dare you?
Damn annoying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Properly annoying.
Thank you.
Really annoying.
Like,
I can't even begin
outrageously
to
annoying.
explain to you.
I was fired like 3 times. I haven't been fired yet. Yeah.
That he knew of. So as for the eggs, remember I told you the other day, this is a boxer, I can't remember who. They get into that stare off thing and bam, hits the guy in the head with an egg.
Yeah.
Well, now there's another guy named KSI. I don't know who that is.
Oh gosh, he's a streamer.
He just slapped Dylan Dennis with a pancake. What's with the breakfast foods at the stare down? What the hell is this?
Do people not like breakfast in the boxing community?
I want to be the next guy. I want to get hit with some bacon because I'll be like, I'll just open my mouth and take the bacon.
Don't want to be slapped by a banana though. That's pretty insulting.
That's also phallic. But no, of course, I'd be ready for the bacon, all excited, and it'd be raw bacon.
Oh, no grits, no oatmeal. You don't want to be slapped in the face with those. You'll get scalded, burned.
I saw one of these things, those dumb things they do on social media. It's like, one of these has to go. Berg loves to put these things up. One of these has to go. And it showed all the breakfast foods, like the classic breakfast foods and grits. I'm like, well, that's not even hard. Bye, grits. I like the grits when they've been made sweet and nice, like malto meal or cream of wheat, whatever. The grits just, no, thank you.
I don't think I've ever had sweet grits. I think I've only ever had like the buttery, savory grits of Waffle House.
Yeah,
those are the only grits I've had.
That's the way to have grits is with the butter on it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can't. Slow-Mo Zoe says the best I can compare with the ostrich egg is beef compared to venison. So it's a gamey egg, is what you're saying.
Oh, interesting.
A little bit of a gamey egg.
So it's probably not as like fluffy unless you really kind of go with like the omelet version of it. Interesting.
Swave Dave says, so what is all that have to do with the price of tea in China, by the way? And how much is it here with all the tariffs? All the tea in China? I won't be drinking tea from China, I'll tell you that.
No.
Are they going to tariff the tea coming from England? I drink English tea.
Yes.
I drink
stock
Lipton.
Up quick.
Everybody is getting tariffed.
Lipton?
I know Louisiana.
Peasant.
Yeah. I know Louisiana is like Florida. But...
If you don't drink Earl Grey, Phil,
I'm
please.
sorry.
No. I drink Assam, and it's Taylor's and Heartgate. The Prince's brand. That's what I drink.
Very well.
I just got a few boxes, but man, I think now I better get a few more.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know what's about to happen. All I'm going to say, I don't know what's going on. I just hope it works. Whatever it is, I sure hope it works.
Yep.
Wilbur says, slap me with some uncooked oatmeal, please.
What?
That's
No,
just
man, I'm not going to put mayonnaise in your shoes either, Wilbur. This is not
What?
your chance to get freakish and weird and show your kink flag.
What the hell?
No, please don't pour syrup all over my naked body. No. Yeah, no. We're not falling for that again, Wilbur.
No, not again.
What?
Definitely not again. So what is with the breakfast foods being used as weapons in the boxing stare downs? I just don't understand this.
Also, it's not as insulting as other forms, right? Like if I get slapped by a pancake, I'm more confused. If I get
you're
slapped,
like, what was that?
just like yesterday's show at the end of the time when I produced a glove, if you get slapped by a glove in the face, that is
You-
insulting beyond
you
belief.
Actually didn't produce a
Yeah,
glove
It is
tissue.
clear. If you
Yeah,
don't believe
that
me, go
was
back
a-
and watch the
I did
stream.
watch
Go
it
back and
several
see the
times.
tissue.
And Jeffrey and I broke it down frame by frame, and it was
He's
clearly a
brutered
tissue.
it.
5 phalanges right there. It's a glove.
no,
clear as
sorry.
day.
No phalanges.
That is by
No.
far the most
No, that
Wish
was
you weren't a
sort of
liar,
a
Phil.
napkin or tissue. Mhm.
Wish you weren't a liar.
I got gloves. I got gloves every day.
You
'cause
know
my
where
hands get
liars
so
go,
close.
Phil?
Yeah, Phil,
To
Your
try
house
to-
every
to my
night.
tea- Oh,
That's
there we
right,
go.
That's where
Phil.
liars go.
That's good.
because you're a liar, Phil.
Phil. We're going to start doing that to him.
Oh, jeez. Here we go
Full
again.
circle. Phil.
Phil.
Last Optimus says local restaurant serves day old cheese grits. Oh. They put cheese grits from the fridge there. They scoop it into a ball. They roll it in panko. They deep fry it. Then they serve it on melted Gouda.
Oh,
He says that's the only way to have grits.
See, there you go. Everything's about
amazing.
matter of contextualizing, a matter of explaining things. Because at first, when you're like day old grits, no, thank you. Day old grits refried and reinvigorated. Oh yeah.
Scratch Me Cuz says you tell Phil he's a filthy liar. Phil, you're a filthy liar.
Yeah, Phil.
I've got a glove
Wilbur
every
says
day.
Phil, liar, liar, pants on fire. Phil.
Phil.
Did he say it like that? Did he just FIFH or whatever?
I know Wilbur well enough. I've met Wilbur in person. He couldn't pick me out of a lineup, but I have met him.
He couldn't pick any of us out of a lineup.
That's probably true. Yes. Well, okay. Enough with the breakfast food stuff.
Yeah,
So,
now I'm hungry.
So Bill Belichick and UNC, we're going to do the Hard Knocks,
Yeah.
and then the NFL says no, he's not, and then the Hard Knocks goes, I guess we're not doing this, and well now Bill Belichick, I don't know what his angle is. Why does he want this? They're saying that they might do an all access series with a different network, because remember when the Cardinals did All or Nothing, so
Yeah.
it would be the same kind of thing. But in that, Bill Belichick and UNC would have total control over the
So-
entire output of whatever it is.
What are they going to call it? What's the working title? Like Tar Heels marks on the floor?
It's called Look at My Girlfriend.
Or would it be like Tar Heels backstage? You can see where they went.
What about
Or-
Blue Bills?
Tar Heels, my carpet is ruined.
I think they should just call it. Here's what Hard Noogies.
Excuse
Instead
me?
of Hard Knocks, Hard Noogies.
Hard Noogies.
And just to really flip the bird at the NFL.
I like it. Tar Heels, you can track them easily.
All right. I say Hard Noogies. What do you say, Phil? You got one?
Blue Bills.
They got Blue Bills.
I don't think his bills are blue.
Not lately.
No, certainly not.
Which is gross.
no.
If you really go, just dig down and think about that.
I mean, yeah.
Because
I think his
Ugh.
bills are.
Okay, I'm just gonna go wash my hands. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
His bills?
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
At Babbel, we know that language is more. It's more than hello and goodbye, and good evening and good night. It's more than mastering talking about the weather or directions to the closest cafe. At Babbel, our mission is to help you learn language for the long run. Babbel gives you the skills to learn a language for life. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you text radio to 64,000. That's radio to 64,000.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Did you know that vitamins are your partners in health, not just inside, but outside too? These nutrients are key to our daily well-being. And for anyone who can get pregnant, folic acid is a must for preventing birth defects, helping you have a healthier pregnancy. The Arizona Department of Health Services is offering 3 months of free daily vitamins with folic acid. Power your health inside and out. Get your free vitamins at azdhs.gov/PowerMeA2C.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. TNCs apply.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Phil to fill in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. All right, so a lot of happening in the world of football. Everybody's taking care of business, getting ready for free agency, trying to, corral the sheep in the herd, or whatever metaphor you want to mess up and use with this, but all over the place.
It's almost like tax day, where it's just business. It's nothing but business.
Sure.
And a
Business.
whole lot is happening.
Sure.
And for the majority of the moves, you're like, oh, Alex Napa at the Bengals is released. Man, what a move. It moved.
Yeah,
DK.
not everything is going to be superstar status, but you have to understand some of these guys maybe you've never heard of end up being a corner piece of a defense,
Yes.
a guy on the line that protects the quarterback. That's why I was actually surprised to see what the Chiefs did.
Yes.
That was, I don't know what is really behind that. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock. The rest of it is, like you say, it's just business. Joe Thuney going to the Bears. Now, again, they're going to trade him to the Bears because I don't think they can trade him yet. Free agency hasn't started.
It's a bunch of logistics of when the league year officially starts and yada, and you got to make sure that's before the draft, but you have to do it after the yada, yada, yada. It's a bunch of rigmarole, but he will be traded.
So the Bears are going to get Thuney, and the Chiefs are going to get a 2026 fourth round pick. So doesn't sound like that great. And this guy is a solid piece of the line.
Great.
So I don't understand why this is happening.
Yeah, this guy is a Hall of Fame lineman, and I say lineman. Normally, he's a guard. He's certainly a Hall of Fame guard, All Pro guard. Had won 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots before getting signed as a free agent, as a full free agent to the Chiefs, where he won 2 Super Bowls with them. So perennial, just champion, knows how to win. But you look over at this guy, and he's a great lineman because he served as a stopgap. As a stopgap left tackle for the Chiefs, and certainly stopped the bleeding when they were in shambles all across their offensive line. Eventually, he during the Super Bowl got reverted back to left guard after the halftime because they were just allowing too much pressure. Great lineman. It's a little shocking. I think it usually indicates that if the Chiefs are letting him go, you wonder about whether or not maybe he's over the hill, and like it's one of those where
32.
Yeah, any improvement would be certainly an improvement for the Bears, where they had an abysmal offensive line last year. So they're fine with getting even a worse version of Joe Thuney if that means that he's going to be an immediate better than replacement level.
You're not allowed to have an H in your name if I can't pronounce it. So it's Thuney.
No, it's Thuney.
I don't care what you think.
I'm telling you, it's Thuney.
There's an H. I'm pronouncing it. Thuney.
But the H is silent, a silent assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but yes, to be concise, as I made a short story long, it seems like the Chiefs, anytime that they lose the championship, anytime that they don't win the Super Bowl, they make drastic changes. They are making drastic changes across their offensive line, and I'm shocked. I think that this means that certainly in the draft they will be attacking offensive line.
I don't know if they need to, though, because when they traded Thuney, Chiefs saved $16 million against the cap, and that they're saving some money there. That turns out, though, they also franchise tag Trey Smith, and they're like, yeah, we're wanting to have him on a long-term deal. So I think it feels like they've got their guy. I'm sure that the draft will be a place where you get a little more depth on that, but. I don't mind a trade, but when you see, it's a 2026 4th round pick,
right?
That seems insulting.
Well, the Bears,
it's got to be more about clearing up some cap space.
Certainly, and the Bears have oodles of that, so they are certainly willing to make an improvement at the cost of cap space, which they have oodles of. And then for the Chiefs, they have drafted and attacked this position all across the offensive line. They just had not had the replacements get to the level that they would need to be in order to be starters across that line in order to properly protect Patrick Mahomes.
They already have a draft day plan.
Yes,
what this tells you.
So you think that this is them saying, finally, we are going to turn the keys over to the next generation of Chiefs pass blockers and protectors of Patrick Mahomes. We'll see. They were not ready
to know who they think they're going to get at 31.
Oh, well,
I mean, I'm sure there's some good talent out there to be had, but the really stellar guys should be gone by 31.
Well, I mean, the Bears have made a move, as Phil alluded to, that they have cap space, and they made the move to get a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion offensive lineman in 2024, and and all they had to do was give up a 2026 4th round draft pick. Are you kidding me? I think the Bears would jump on that 9 out of 10 days in the week, especially with how their offensive line performed last year.
We'll see how long Joe Thuney can keep it up or even play even 75, 85% of what he had
kind of
before.
A private question, don't you think, Jeffrey?
No, it's my business, and you know it.
I mean, I don't think we need to have insight on how long he can keep it up.
Megatron says, well, that's pretty much it. He's old. Last year in his contract, they're saving $16 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of just boils down to that.
Hefty Lefty says, word of the day for Phil seems to be oodles. Now I want to have noodles. Thanks a lot, Phil. He wants oodles of noodles because of Phil.
I don't take that as a bad thing.
Moist one says, or they go grab Mekhi Becton and Ronnie Stanley. I thought you had a thought on that, but don't want to interrupt your chewing. What are you eating?
Right now, I have a bunch of carrots and peanut butter that have been beckoning my name.
You dip carrots in peanut butter.
I do. I have those little Jiffy containers that were made for it. So yes.
Oh, okay.
But yes, Mekhi Becton, left tackle, certainly had a resurgence this year, coming off of a very disparaging New York Jets tenure, and he was very successful over for the Eagles. The Eagles. How do I word this? Okay, so it's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anytime you get a Pittsburgh Steelers second-hand wide receiver, I always worry because usually the Pittsburgh Steelers do find talent there. So if they're willing to let go, that draws up alarm bells. Eagles do offensive and defensive lines very well. So I worry if they are not willing to keep Mekhi Becton at all costs, then I'm a little worried about what my returns would be.
So let's take a look at what everyone else is doing. The Chargers have just tendered rights on Tucker Fisk, the tight end. Okay. Did we really hear much from him during the season?
No, but you know how Jim Harbaugh feels. He loves a tight end.
I mean, who doesn't? The Colts have cut our one of our centers, Ryan Call. Okay. I mean,
another team that does offensive line pretty well.
The Colts have always been pretty solid on that. Let's see here. The Titans, by the way, the word on the street is the Titans want to trade out of that number 1 pick.
Yes,
they absolutely want to get whatever they can get, and they like Cam Ward, they like Shedeur Sanders, but you got the Giants sitting there, you got the Browns sitting there, and I mean, not for quarterback, but you got the Patriots, Jaguars, and Raiders. The Raiders are one that to keep an eye on. Speaking of the Raiders, there's 2 things that happened today that caught my attention. The first thing, are you sitting down, Randy?
Yes.
The Raiders have informed Gardner Minshew that he will be released.
No.
Oh my God! Oh my God! He's free again.
So I'm not sure why that they wanted to release him, but something is up. Something is up because Max Crosby then, there was a headline says, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big year, and I hope it's in Las Vegas. And shortly after that, the Raiders signed Max Crosby to a 3-year contract extension, making him the highest paid non-quarterback NFL player, $106.5 million, and 91 of that is guaranteed, making him that highest paid non-quarterback in the league. So I wonder if Max Crosby knows something. And I wonder if that comment about Aaron Rodgers has some fact behind it.
I don't think it does. It was probably Max Crosby being a fanboy of Aaron Rodgers and knowing that he is out there free. I think the big story here is that Gardner Minshew is now a free agent, and all the teams will line up.
The Arizona Cardinals should start him.
All the teams will be lining up to bid on the services for Gardner Damn Minshew, the great American.
All righty. Gardner Minshew, says Raven Kid, says going to go back to the Colts to compete with Anthony Richardson, and Russell Wilson's going to reunite with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas.
Gardner Minshew, just what an interesting quarterback career he has, man. Like he's like you want Gardner Minshew as your backup quarterback, but gosh darn, if he's your starter, you're like, God, I love him. I don't want him as my starter though.
Well, your team's going to lose then, Phil.
To the American legend that is Gardner Minshew.
You're damn right.
What's your problem, Gamecock? Gamecock says carrots and peanut butter. Get him off the show.
Wow.
What's wrong with
carrots and peanut butter?
Because it's not ranch dressing? I mean, doesn't sound too bad to me. I like carrots.
Very high in protein.
Carrots don't occur to me. But when they're there, like the baby carrots are there, I'm like, part of me just loves that I'm eating babies. But the other part is that carrots, raw carrot. Don't like cooked carrots. Raw carrots, pretty good. Dip it in whatever you want.
Phil, are you eating the baby carrots, or are you eating like Bugs Bunny carrot?
No, they are not baby
He's
carrots.
eating
Thank
teenage
you.
carrots.
They're petite carrots.
Petite carrots.
Yes.
Oh, so they
He's
don't call them
eating
baby
teenagers.
carrots anymore.
I think there's baby. There is like a level below petite. If memory serves.
Get in my belly. Fish Tank says, Phil, I suggest not bringing up peanut butter directly after any Moist One text.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That is true.
He says, stay safe out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Keep on walking.
Hefty Lefty says Minshew to the Broncos to back up Bo Nix. Make it happen, Walmart.
I wouldn't hate it. Wouldn't hate it.
Moist One says, I think the Colts will get Sam Darnold.
What?
Ugh.
That honestly, Jeffrey, if that happens, that spells doom and disaster for your team. Honestly, take your medicine and just enjoy Anthony Richardson at that point.
Shut your face, Moist One. Chosen One says Gardner is the new Ryan Fitzpatrick, except for without all that cumbersome talent. Beer Bob says petite carrots are smaller than baby carrots, actually.
Oh, so I got the baby deluxe carrots.
You got the fetus carrots.
That's a good point.
Hey, don't shake your head at that. Don't you abort a good time.
Hey.
888-368-1580. So the Seahawks released Tyler Lockett today. There's a lot of cause and effect, okay? Tyler Lockett got released, and now they'll save $17 million against the cap. And okay, that's gratitude for you. He was number 2 in franchise history right there to Steve Largent in receptions and yards and stuff, but whatever. But immediately after they released Tyler Lockett, suddenly DK Metcalf's like, I want to be traded. And so the Seahawks are like, all right, fine. So what are the Seahawks up to? They got rid of Tyler Lockett. They're seemingly fine to trade away DK Metcalf for what's next. Who's left to receive the ball right now for the Seattle Seahawks?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
He alone. Him and actually Jake Bobo over there, as funny as the name is.
Bobo.
Yes, Bobo.
Bobo.
He's actually he's a very good developmental wide receiver that they've had on the roster just due to the log jam that they have a wide receiver for the top 3 guys.
Can you not say log jam? I've had to go to the bathroom for a while here.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So at the log jam of wide receiver that they got over there, it is clogged up at the top. Where nothing can get through if you're a wide receiver. So Jake Bobo over there, he's having a hard time emerging to be getting on the field and showing everybody that he can grace the field.
Really turtling in that
really
organization.
Drink more water. Is
Don't you
going
think?
Just a lot of more water, probably.
Jake Bobo runs across the field like a graceful prairie dog. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Bonjour.
So anyways, but he is
Bonjour.
Yeah, they have enough depth even on the team without needing to go to the free agency or draft to fulfill fill in the need of wide receiver. But DK Metcalf did pick an interesting time. Tyler Lockett, I think it was very classy of the Seattle Seahawks to wait a day from the rest of their business-like moves to say, you know what, Tyler Lockett, we'll release you the next day. We could have done this along with every other move, but we'll wait one more day to just give you some separation, to give you some shine, to give you a proper day. I thought that was classy.
So let's take a look. Where are the Seattle Seahawks in the draft? Because now you're thinking they've got to go wide receiver. They've got to.
I think they're last.
The Seahawks?
They did not win the Super Bowl, Randy. They are not last.
They get the 18th pick.
They should be last.
I understand. But no, they get the 18th pick. At least they're not ahead of the Cardinals.
They shouldn't be able to pick until the 4th round.
Well, listen, Cardinals have the 16 pick.
Yeah.
And as we've discussed before, you guys could use a wide receiver, an edge. You could use an offensive lineman. So take a wide receiver just to spite the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the days of the Cardinals being poor in the draft are over. I like the last couple of drafts with Monty Osenfort, and I like what this team is doing. And we will see, young Padawan learner, what the Cardinals will be doing this year.
Who's the Padawan learner?
All the 4th dimension. We will see.
Oh, I see. The Jet, he says, did you read my text? This is the first text I've seen from you today, Jet.
Yeah.
So
Jet.
So that would be a big stinking no.
Hell you're talking about. Moist One says, hopefully DK is just trying to help his extension negotiations and he gets a nice contract and he ends up staying in the Seattle.
I hope
the
he's
Seahawks were like, he was like, I want to trade. They're like, okay. And he's like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Whoa.
I don't know.
They
if
were
this-
very happy to say they'd explore that.
Right now, it feels like we are on the edge of you remember a few years back, and now it feels like it's kind of going away, but we
I
were on
don't
a running.
remember last week. How could I remember a few years back?
Well, we were on a running back bubble where every running back's value and contract was just so under market value or seemingly meaningless.
Phil,
that-
we don't need a running back in Phoenix. We need a
No.
damn wide receiver, edge rusher. Didn't you hear Jeffrey when he read off the list?
I read the
You
whole
need a
thing.
lot. Yes, absolutely. But for the wide receivers, I think that we are on the precipice. We are on the verge of
The
a wide
crux.
receiver bubble right now, where too many good wide receivers coming out of the draft. And why am I paying you like a star wide receiver when I have Jackson Smith and Jigba behind you? Why am I paying you? You got to make more than Justin Jefferson when you're
Look,
nowhere near as good as him. Why am I
the
paying you like that?
Cardinals will pick up what's his name? DJ Metcalf. We will pick him up, and he will be opposite of who's the other one? George Harrison. What was the
Marvin
guy's name?
Harrison. Marvin
Harrison.
Harrison Jr.
Yeah, that's him. And not only that, we will also scoop up in a award-winning move the greatest quarterback to ever grace the field in Gardner Damn Minshew.
Wow, what a busy offseason that would
Oh,
be.
it's going to be very busy. We'll also get our targets in the draft because Monty Osenfort, right now as we speak, is toiling away in his office.
Yeah, you know what he does, though. He's just going to trade draft picks for more draft picks and never draft anybody.
Right? Yeah.
He's just going to keep
that's the
trading
way he
draft
does.
picks.
That's what he's
Until
going to do.
1 year, every pick in the draft, Arizona Cardinals.
That's what he's trying to do. I'm surprised, Jeffrey, that you would give away our secret so easily.
Oh, it wasn't hard to figure. Just the Tip says, wasn't drunk before, but I am now. Peace out. Peace out, Just the Tip.
Deuces.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back and pick it right back up. Lots more stuff happened in the world of the NFL as we get ready for free agency. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580s, The Fanatic.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
The Super Bowl is over, and now you're feeling blue because you think football is over. Well, snap out of it, bub.
Football's always in season here.
Get ready for the hirings, the firings, the free agents, the mini camps,
And this little thing called the NFL Draft.
get your pigskin on
your home for the NFL and Super Bowl 60,
1580
and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580, the Fanatic. So the Cowboys have restructured Dak Prescott's contract. Could that be a pre-trade move at all? I mean, restructuring, making it more palatable for somebody else?
I don't think that they're going to trade Dak Prescott.
Yeah, just to clarify, you mean as in a pre-trade move of trading Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
They freed up $56.6 million in cap space as a team. So they're getting ready for something. I don't know what.
Well,
they're getting ready for something.
Just to operate.
True.
Well, not only to operate, but I think they want to lock down number 11 for the Cowboys too. I mean, they want to make sure he stays with them long term, don't you think?
Oh, certainly.
So now they've resorted his contract. Then they turn around and look, CeeDee Lamb. They took care of CeeDee Lamb. They got CeeDee Lamb. What did they do there? Sorry, all my stuff got out of order because the Fourth Dimension kept bringing up stuff that.
Yeah, so
Where
they
what they do with he got tagged? Was that it?
No, he got restructured as well. So essentially, they made Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb both the number one paid positions in their collective slots. But now they've restructured it, given more guaranteed money at the front, so that way they can get some cap relief, kick the can down the road, just so that way the Cowboys can operate under the cap and get ready for free agency and the draft.
So the Jaguars, remember Christian Kirk, Randy?
Yes,
they're going to release him. They are going to
Wow.
release him, so they'll save $10 million in salary cap space. All right, so here he comes. You want him back on the Cardinals?
No,
he's pretty fast.
No,
he's been doing pretty good.
No, it's okay.
All right,
he is coming off of a torn ACL, I believe.
he is injury prone. I'll give you that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know about injury prone, but he's had a season-ending.
No, thank you.
Oh.
He said,
So
good
good.
day, sir. Good day. Speaking of injury, Tank Dell had ACL surgery yesterday.
God. Apparently, by all accounts, just a great guy, great teammate. CJ Stroud openly wept for the man when he got injured again. Of course, possibly his best friend.
CJ Stroud also cried when he saw the last episode of Little House on the Prairie. It
Well,
was more
that's-
than he could take.
That's true. Yeah.
So the Packers and Brandon McManus, if you're wondering, who the hell is that? He's a kicker.
Yes, former
3-year
Denver great.
contract for Brandon McManus.
McManus.
It's a 3-year deal, $15.3 million, $5 million guaranteed. Then also the Cowboys kicker, Brandon Aubrey, he had shoulder surgery. And Jerry Jones ain't worried. He's like, he don't kick with his shoulder, so no problem. And so he'll be back. Jerry did go look at some tape to make sure he was right about that.
Your Jerry Jones is actually spot on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. The Broncos. Let's talk about the Broncos, Phil.
Please, yes.
Your
let's.
Broncos have tendered all 5 of their exclusive rights free agents.
As well, they should. Good.
Taking
business
care of
everywhere.
business.
Yeah, absolutely. It means that-
Taking care of business. And so here's who they've tendered contracts on. Jaquan McMillan.
Excellent.
Lucas Kroll, your tight end.
Even better.
Linebacker Dondre Tillman.
Hall of Famer.
Defensive lineman Jordan Jackson.
Build a statue for him.
And Devon Kay, the safety.
He was good.
Zach Allen's going, hey, guys. Hey, hi. Zach Allen here, defensive end. Can we hi? Could you guys like maybe some maybe a contract extension, please?
Well, I do think the one thing that it does highlight is that the Denver Broncos have at least drafted very well. The fact
Why
that
are they leaving Zach Allen standing there holding his shorts?
Well, it's just Yeah, because eventually you know that a better contract is going to be needed. So you
He only has, listen, he's not that much money. He has 1 year left in the 3-year contract. He signed in 2023. He's set to make 12.74 million. He's got a cap hit of 19.79. Are they thinking about cutting him?
possibly. I mean, it's not out of the question. Now, usually you would extend in this case, but even if he were to stick around at just what he's at, it's perfectly fine. I mean, he was a perfectly fine guy last year, played well, but I don't. When you look at other players of his ilk, I don't think that he's wowing anybody tremendously. You know, like I'm fine.
Swave Dave says, Jeffrey, Little House on the Prairie? Where did that come from?
Well,
where does anything in my head come from?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just remembered seeing that. And I remember when I was a kid, I saw that. And it was hilarious. And so the story is this Little House on the Prairie thing, right? It's a famous show. I didn't really watch it that much. But my sisters loved it. And I remembered they were all excited. This is the last episode. This is the last episode of Little House on the Prairie. Well, what they didn't know is the people who produced the show, Little House on the Prairie, were pissed off at NBC. So what they did to punish NBC was the story. Some dude came in and was like taking over the entire town, buying everything or whatever, all the land. And so all the people who lived in the town, right there, last episode, they blew up everything.
Wow.
They blew up the houses and the general store and the church and everything. I was laughing so hard. My sisters were crying. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
They even blew out that outhouse. Oh my God. They blew up the entire damn town to keep some evil rich guy from having it. And I'm just like, oh my God, my sisters were weeping and I'm just laughing so hard. Oh my God.
You know what?
So,
My traumatic moment watching when I was younger, which is weird, but is Old Yeller. I had no idea because when I'm young, I'm not like researching everything. And of course, mom's like, hey, if it's anything Disney, go ahead and watch. Old Yeller. Nobody warned me. Nobody told me. Yeah. And all of a sudden at the end, Old Yeller's starting to bite. And I'm like, wait, why is he foaming at the mouth?
Yeah.
Oh God, no, not yet. No.
Yep. Disney's always been a little heartless that way, killing off Bambi's parents, everybody's parents. Yeah, if you are in a Disney movie, don't think like, I wonder who they'll cast as my mom. No, because she's dead. She's dead. It's Disney. That's what Disney does. Anyway, so that's the story, Swave Dave. Moist One says, wait, isn't that the kicker that allegedly assaulted some stewardess? Which one was that? McManus or the other one? I already threw the paper away. Scratch Me Because says, what's the salary cap for the Daily Blender? Well, the cap is surprisingly high. Contracts are all a little bit different, though.
Yeah.
Devil Hawk says, I love satellites from space. Please don't ever get rid of that commercial. That is my favorite. Well, actually, I'm getting ready to do a new batch of those. So who knows? Maybe one of the next ones will be one of your favorites.
Yeah.
I'll email you the commercial so you can just keep it for yourself.
Brandon McManus was accused. Yes.
Let's see. Big George says, Randy, I don't want Gardner Minshew on the Cardinals. He's not a good quarterback. We need to get rid of Kyler. We need a good starting quarterback. I'd be happy with Sam Darnold or Aaron Rodgers. Better than what we have now.
You think Gardner Minshew is a bad quarterback and you think Sam Darnold is a good one? George, what the hell has happened to you?
I can't be a part of this conversation. I just can't. I had Gardner Minshew, and I might end up with Sam Darnold, so I have to recuse myself from this conversation between Big George and Randy.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I don't know if you have this story, but did you see what the current reigning NFL MVP, where he spent his bachelor party last night?
Josh Allen, his bachelor party, wasn't it at that golf thing?
Yeah, the golf thing with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
That's the worst bachelor party ever, but that's his way of saying, see, honey, I'm not going to a strip club.
Well, I don't know what they did after this, but they had to do something after this. But did you see who was in his party with him? Josh Allen, Steelers quarterback Kyle Allen, Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold, all part of the same group.
So he had the bobblehead with him.
And Celine Dion was there too.
With him. What's that?
And Celine Dion was there too. Do you think she was there for Josh Allen?
No.
I think she came out of the cake.
She popped out of the cake singing.
Talk about I'm sorry, that would be a huge
Yeah.
disappointment. Just, you're like, oh God, she's gonna sing that song, isn't she? Yep, she is. Oh,
Oh my God, no.
Hefty
Yeah,
Lefty says, are you still eating them spinner carrots?
Yes, I am. Yeah, the petite.
Tyrannosaurus Tex says, just to clarify, there was something like 500 pages of emails in the investigation, and magically only Gruden's name ever came out. It was a scandal before the scandal that sunk Snyder.
Are we still talking about this?
Well, he may have sent that 15 minutes ago. I'm trying to get caught up here.
Okay.
Chosen One says, I think Christian Kirk comes back to the Cardinals.
No. Maybe.
No.
Killer Rabbit says, as a Bronco fan, I would love to have McAnus back instead of Will Wish Me Lutz.
Miss McAnus?
Yeah, it's McManus. Thank you.
It's McManus. McManus.
McManus.
Yeah.
McManus.
It depends on what region you're from.
Okay.
In Scotland. Slave Dave says, I've watched a few episodes of that. However, CJ Stroud wasn't even born yet. You ever heard of a rerun, Dave? You ever hear of reruns? You ever hear of Netflix? Dave?
Wow.
Silver Pop says, Jeffrey, that Little House on the Prairie reference came out of left field. Kind of like how Phil was talking about skipping his loo a couple of weeks ago.
I was skipping my loo. It was oodles of skipping.
He would have fit on Little House on the Prairie.
Phil would have, yeah.
He'd have been coming down that hill just like the girl skipping to his loo.
Oh, yeah.
I probably would have been 10 feet under due to dysentery, but yes.
What?
It wasn't the Oregon Trail.
No.
It was Little House on the Prairie. He's been eaten by a wolf.
I always forget. Which one's the dysentery? Isn't that the fecal matter in the water?
Yeah.
So if I eat on the toilet.
By the way, I don't want to spoil nothing. God. So I watched the 1923.
Oh, the series? Yeah.
That came out Sunday, the latest episode. Today's Wednesday. Can I talk about it now, or does that count as spoilers?
I think you wait until the eve of the next episode. Otherwise,
hell, talk about it if you want to, Jeffrey. That's the way I look at it.
Well, they got a problem with animals coming around the Dutton Ranch there. You know, in the last episode, old Harrison Ford comes out and he's like, "Holy bleep! There's a mountain lion staring at me." He's like, "I don't want to have to shoot you, but I'm gonna if you." And he's like, "Are you here hungry, or are you here for other?" And he's so the guy runs off. The lion, he's like, well, that was close. He's like, I didn't want to have to kill him, but I'll kill him if I have to. So then later on, when he's not around, that dopey girl walks out. There's a mountain lion again. And then the old Helen Mirren, blam, shoots him from the kitchen. And so you're like, whew, man. And then the next episode, see, this is the thing. If I tell you some stuff, is it a spoiler now? The more animals, I'm just going to say,
all right.
Why don't they have dogs on the Dutton Ranch?
In the 1923s?
Yeah, I'm just saying, maybe something to keep the critters out? Because that episode ends in a way, if you hear me say, well, they need some help keeping the critters out, you're going to be like, holy crap, no kidding.
Wow. Must have had bears too, huh?
No. Well, not yet. It's only the second episode, Randy, of the season.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, I won't spoil nothing for anybody if they're watching it, but I kind of want to talk about it. So instead, I'll talk about this. I learned something today, Randy.
Okay.
Something I had no idea about. I like tea.
Yes.
I stopped drinking the Mountain Dew and I started drinking a tea. So I drink it the way the British do, right? Put a little bit
with your pinky out.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
A little bit of milk in there to sort of soften it up, and then boom, I'm having like 3-4 teas a day. That's my thing now.
Yeah.
And it's proper British with the milk.
Right.
Ran out of milk.
Uh-oh.
My wife, who's very fitness conscious, she has other types of milk, which I don't believe are actually milk.
Like
almond, wheat, oat.
So here's what I learned. Tea plus milk, excellent. Been doing that for years.
Okay.
Tea plus oat milk, nope.
Really? I like my some oat milk.
Tea plus almond milk, nope.
Oh.
But when I had put a little of the almond milk in there, she then says, we have some regular milk in there. I tried it with the almond milk, didn't taste good. I added some regular milk to that. So the almond milk plus regular milk tastes like a donut.
Ah.
I'm not even making it up. I was drinking a donut.
Is your almond milk vanilla flavored?
No, the oat
Okay.
milk was, and I think that's what made it nasty.
The vanilla flavoring's not for me. A lot of people need that vanilla flavoring. For me, it's too sugary and too sweet.
So basically, here's what I'm trying to pass on. Milk is the way to go. Almond
Okay.
milk, it's not a good replacement. Oat milk's not a good replacement. It's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could eat cereal with any of this. So.
Do you like a flavoring on the milk, like a raspberry
No, I just
or
like
like
milk, milk.
Or no, not on the milk, on the tea.
Raspberry milk?
No,
on
I
the
just
tea.
want my tea, just a little bit of milk. I want it to be the way it is.
Okay.
I don't need anything special. Big George says that 1923 is a great show, but it really grinds my gears. They didn't rename the second season 1925. It's supposed to take place 100 years ago, and it's no longer 1923. But I think it's still 1923 in the story.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Jeffco.
The Jet says, did you quit drinking Mountain Dew because it made your penis small? No, I mean, I still have to have that penis reduction surgery because your mom kept complaining.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, I stopped drinking Mountain Dew because it made my fat. It put too much more weight on me.
It made my fat.
Yep. Then after I lost that weight, then my wife puts all of it back on me from all the good food she makes. So now I got to start actually exercising.
Okay.
Devil Hawk says, I still can't believe Phil's awful LeBron James take at the beginning of the show. So out of left field for a purported Suns fan.
Well,
Phil's not a Suns fan.
Yeah,
he
well,
never
I've
said
never
that.
said I'm a Suns
Never
fan.
said he's a
I
Suns
can
fan.
talk Suns, but I am not a Suns fan.
No.
Moist One says, I'd like to roost around Helen Mirren.
What?
Helen Mirren back in the day? Ooh.
He likes her now.
Oh, well, good.
Number
Everybody
one
deserves
Rattler
love.
fan says, back in the 70s, my sister used to take Monday night and I would look at the schedule and I would take Monday night football games and then she would take Little House on the Prairie. So every Monday night we'd have this compromise. So needless to say, yeah, I've watched a few hours of Little House on the Prairie and had a crush on that super hot mom. That's a little weird for a kid.
I
but
do remember Little House
I'll
on
allow it.
Little House on the Prairie did cut deep. I remember that there was one story arc where I think there was a mom who went crazy and like the whole house. And there's just a rocking chair scene, and it gets bad. There's a like disease runs through the village or through the entire place, and it gets dark. Gets dark.
No, Little House on the Prairie could get pretty dark.
Yeah.
So they're saying that Devontae Adams will probably go to the Packers. The betting favorite to sign him is the team he started out with, the Packers.
I don't get it for the Packers.
Because Jordan Love's there doing pretty good, and I feel like the two of them would have some success. So I could see that as a possibility. But DraftKings says the Packers, they're the top odds. The Chargers are next, followed by the 49ers, then the Rams and the Steelers and the Broncos and the Patriots.
But the Packers right now, that seems to be the one position where they have a ton of depth though. Like right now, they have, I mean, granted, do they have an outstanding wide receiver that Devontae Adams is? No, but they do have depth there, meaning that why is that amongst your first if I'm saying, hey, let's go address what the Packers' weaknesses are in free agency, Devontae Adams is not my first thought.
Well, they could use another marquee wide receiver. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
there's not a team out there that couldn't use Devontae Adams, certainly. But just for the Packers specifically, when on the road specifically traveled, where organizationally it's the same team, head coach is the same team, everything's the same. Just now, no Aaron Rodgers. It's an interesting fit. I don't think it's the appropriate one, but okay.
Moist One says Packers might have depth, but they don't have girth. I'm sorry. No, that's not what he said. I actually said that because I thought that's how he was going to end that sentence. He says Packers might have depth, but they don't have an elite wide receiver. But is Devontae Adams still an elite wide receiver? Do we know for sure? I'm not sure.
It's so hard to tell. I mean, he was playing with the Raiders and the Jets last year, both of whom are not sterling examples of prominent offenses running at high motorway speeds. So I can't tell you for sure. Devontae Adams still was able to make some outstanding catches last year. I would trust that with a good system, a good offensive play caller, one of the bright offensive minds and Matt LaFleur over in Packerland, that you would get the best version of him. I don't know what that is though.
All right, listen, we got to take a break. When we come back, we've got On This Date in Big George's sports history. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-367-6289. 800-367-6289. 800-367-6289.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hungry for something exciting? Then come experience what's new at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 Valley locations. No one does Asian-inspired cuisine better or more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, it isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire with their daily specials. Try their new $12 bar menu items, Wagyu beef and Mongolian pork sliders, chicken or beef satay, and 3 delicious flavors of chicken karaage. 2025 is on fire at Kasai with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road and Thunderbird, and now open in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's KASAI Teppen.com or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, so people are still texting in about Devontae Adams. Lost Toby says Devontae Adams going to the Niners. That makes sense for me. He says Packers should go after Metcalf since he wants to get traded. Tyler Lockett getting released is also a weird move. Yeah, I thought the same thing, Toby. I did think the same thing, but yeah, I'm sure they've got a plan. Or did they already have something else locked in? I don't know. Killer Rabbit says, I wish this was a Friday show. As a kid, the mom on Family Ties was hot. You can say that on any day you want, Killer Rabbit. If you've ever listened to this show, we are not limited to any kind of Friday situation. Yesterday was like a Friday show. We all felt that.
Oh, yeah.
Today was like a Wednesday show. No, it was like a regular Wednesday show. I don't think it was out of bounds or too weird. Nothing too weird. But if you want to say the mom on Family Ties was hot, Killer Rabbit, that's fair. She would never have been interested in you. Turns out she would have never been interested in you. She liked the ladies. Beer Bob says, from what we've heard about Tiger Woods, maybe he didn't go to a strip club, but Josh Allen, maybe he'd gone to a whorehouse. What? What are you talking about, Bob? God, that was just wow. I have no idea what that was about, Beer Bob. I don't remember hearing any stories about Josh Allen going to the Bunny Ranch or anything like that.
No.
Well,
yes.
Well, I never. So I got to thank the Berg. Berg's trying to help me out again.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Berg.
Well, I posted up on the. We were so bad at social media, Randy. You
Yes,
and
we
I
are.
have been
Yeah.
bad for so long. You jumped off of X.
I just completely got off. Yeah.
Yeah, and I posted up because I was talking to somebody and they were like, "Hey, you know, in stand-up comedy, if you are a great stand-up and have a funny set, you might not get booked because a guy who's less funny and has a great social media following, the bookers will look at that guy and say, "Oh, we got to hire him because he'll bring people in." I'm like, "Oh, damn it." I am not. I got a couple thousand over on the Facebook. I don't got hardly nothing on the X or Twitter, whatever you call it. And so I posted there. I says, yeah, I told him about that. I says, yeah, I told I got to be better at social media. I need a better following than I have. So maybe start following me now, please, when you get a chance. And then I realized, oh, if somebody can see that, they already follow me. So I says, well, just tell a friend then. And then Berg told friends, and now I got a bunch of new followers. No, it's
Well,
four.
that's good.
It's
I
four,
mean, so,
but I'm happy
what
to
do you-
have them.
what are you up to now?
Four. I got four of them.
You have four people.
No, I mean new ones.
But I mean, what are you up to now? How many followers you got on the X?
771.
There you go. There
that-
you go.
Yeah, but you remember Paul Mercurio, the comedian that was on the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got like 30,000.
How do you do that besides buying
I
followers?
I don't think you can do that anymore. I have no idea how it works. I'm not lying. I'm going to have to hire somebody to help me with this because if
See-
I'm going to go do some stand-up comedy, I'm not going to get booked with 771 followers.
You need to talk to your daughter. Talk to your daughter. She will hook you up.
I don't
Yeah,
think
no, I'm
she's that
serious.
into it. I don't think she's
I-
that into the social media. But
Well,
Hook'em Hottie, she did comment. She says, you know what you need to do? If you need to go to Instagram and TikTok because that's where everything's happening. Because Twitter's dying and Facebook is the dead. So, and I'm like TikTok. I don't dance that well. I don't. How am I? I'm not going to do TikTok.
Oh, there's
dances.
a little
I
bit
don't-
of something for everybody on
I
on
don't
the
think
old
the
talk.
tick. I don't think the old the tick there it has just dancing.
I need somebody. I got to hire somebody.
I see a lot of stuff my kids send me, but I'm not on the tick, so they send it to me on my phone when they text me.
Right. Like, can
And
you
they-
fax me that text, please?
Well, I no,
Just-
I don't ask for it. They just send it to me like, this is totally dad, and it's something from the tick, and I have to figure out how to watch it.
I mean, I always figured I had enough social media because I have a radio show. This is like the ultimate in social media, I think.
Yeah.
It's actual media.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seemed like I had success on Facebook having a couple thousand people.
Well,
And then
translate that over to
never could.
the
tried.
tick.
Tried. Tick? I don't know.
Yeah, or the
Instagram, I just don't take pictures
Well,
of my food
that's the
that
thing.
much.
You don't
have to
call
take
it
pictures of.
Well, you don't call it the Instagram. You call it the gram.
Doesn't matter what I call it. It's like
Yeah,
I don't
no,
have
you
that-
gotta speak the lingo,
I
Jeff.
don't have that many things to take pictures of. You know what most
Well,
of the
you don't-
pictures of my phone are? My dogs.
Well, that's fine. People love dogs. You'll grow your audience that way. And also, if something
wait.
funny hits you, you
Wait.
just take a picture of your what?
I took a picture of this moth that was on the patio.
There
It
you
was
go.
Huge.
See that? See that? You
That
put
looks
that
like
on.
Tell me about the lamb's clavies.
You put that on the gram.
That could be
See
a
what I mean?
tattoo right there.
And then well, I can't say, but somebody put something nice on my car. I took a picture of that. I don't know if that would go on the Instagram.
Somebody put something nice on your car.
And then the new guy sent me his headshot for the website.
What?
Yeah,
Triple
Harris.
H, fine looking man.
It's Harris.
That's
Yeah.
Triple H right there.
Oh, look, here's my dogs on the stairs.
Yeah.
So they're. I mean, I've got tons of dog pictures.
Well, see,
So I don't
you
know
put-
what I would even do with Instagram.
You put that on the gram. Is that what they're calling it, Phil? The gram, or are they calling
Oh,
it
it's still the gram.
Insta?
Yeah, it's going down on the
It's the gram.
gram.
Yeah.
Send your DMs on the gram. Absolutely.
See, and when you have a funny thought, you take a video of yourself doing that funny thought.
I was at Discount Tire and I took a picture of their tread depth guide.
Well, there it is,
Do I
right
put
there.
that up?
Put that on the gram.
Oh,
See
no,
what I
this
mean?
is pretty good though. This
Yeah.
one is pretty good. This is it's not coming in the focus, but it's Jesus and the 12 disciples, and it says Jesus walks into a bar, just 12 waters, please. He winks at the disciples. It just cracked me up. Sorry,
it was good. It's good.
Oh, this is also the label of some underwear right there.
There it is, right
that
there.
I like.
You put that kind of thing on the gram.
I had to
See
use that to find the underwear I like so I could order more because 10
There you
years
go.
later it finally worn out.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Well, fortunately, you didn't show the butt that was wearing out in your
Oh, it's
underwear.
right in the crotch.
Yeah.
Right in the crotchal area.
Yeah,
There
Jeff,
you
if you
go.
put up some underwear pics, you'll get a lot of followers.
There it is. See what I'm saying? You got to go out on a limb.
took
What?
Picture of these chunky tires right there.
There it is.
Those
there you
are
go.
nice.
You
Those
put
are
that.
nice.
You put that kind of thing on the gram.
Who cares about this other than me? I just don't know why anybody cares
Yeah,
about pictures
see,
I would take.
Look, I just tried to help you out.
I'm going to sit
tried
there
to
and
get-
take pictures of myself. I always say, if you're really interesting, someone
Mhm.
else will take pictures of you.
Well, if Phil, you're going to have to help Jeffrey out. He doesn't know how to social media.
Oh, don't worry. I speak the lingo.
Well,
I
there
am
you
a
go.
man of the people.
See,
Wait.
there you go.
Are you on Twitter with me?
I am. Yes, absolutely.
No, it's X. You got to quit saying Twitter. It's X.
Oh, Phil don't know nothing about social media.
What?
He only has 138 followers.
Yeah, no. So I don't actively go out and seek them. No.
He's there for fun. He's not
Well,
there
then you
for
got to get we got to get
business.
the Triple H. You got to get the Triple. I'll bet he's into it. Next
Yeah,
time
I think-
Triple H is in the office, we should all be in the office, and
He'll teach us on a course.
You should get him going in the right direction with you.
Hmm.
He's one of them Utes, and
Lost
I don't
Toby.
mean Utah either, Jack.
Lost Toby wants me to start an OnlyFans. That
Well-
ain't gonna happen. No.
Well, I mean,
That's a
I
great
could,
way
I
to
could see
start
that.
any
I mean,
career. Yeah.
You'll get a lot of hits on that.
Mysterio says, "Don't sell your soul to the Chinese Communist Party by signing up for TikTok. There's a reason why the previous administration was banning it. It's national security risk."
I don't know what
Well-
kind of national security secrets
Yeah, I don't
Jeffrey
have any.
has.
I got
but
none.
but if that's the way for Jeffrey to, to score a gig in the stand-up comedy world, I'm for it.
No,
On the
I'm not.
tick.
Moist one says 139 followers for Phil now. Why did you
Heyo.
have to add the eggplant emoji with that text?
I understand. I see what you're laying down there. Thank
Phil
you.
knows where the block button is. I'm not.
He's picking up what you're putting down.
Well, I don't know if I'm picking that up, but I do.
You see what I
understand.
mean? See what I mean?
Devil Hawk says, "I always had the hots for Donna Reed. Those brown eyes, pearls, perfectly done hair. Oh, that was my fantasy." So you got Singing in the Rain on a loop, don't you, pal? That is.
Is Donna Reed in Singing in the Rain?
Yeah.
I didn't think she was.
Am I wrong? Have I got the wrong Donna? I don't know. I know I
Huh?
got to do this.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's Sports History. Back in the year 1973, in the strangest trade in baseball history, as well as a sign of the social time in the 70s, New York Yankees left-handed pitchers Fritz Peterson and Mike Kikich arrived at spring training and announced that they had permanently swapped wives, children, and dogs. Fritz Peterson and former Suzanne Kikich are still married to this very day. Fuck you, Jeffrey. Yeah,
Wow.
but Mike and Marilyn, they didn't do well.
Hmm.
They broke up pretty quick.
Wow.
Then after that, both players got traded different teams. But damn,
How do you walk into a baseball locker room and say, excuse me, we have an announcement,
why would you even have to? If you're going to do that kind of nonsense, just keep it to yourself.
right?
Why
Donna-
would you need to announce that to everybody?
Donna Reed was not
Oh.
in Singing in the Rain.
Who's Donna Reed then?
So Anna
That was
McCrae.
Debbie Reynolds in Singing in the Rain.
Yes. Donna McCrae, or Donna, and Anne McCrae was known for being on the Donna Reed show, but that's about as close as we can get.
Donna Reed. What was
Mhm.
she in? Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a Wonderful Life.
It's a
That's
beautiful day.
What in
What
the hell are you
hell
trying to do?
is
Are you
happening?
trying-
Are you having a stroke, Phil?
Doesn't sound anything like Jimmy Stewart.
But you knew what I was talking about, didn't you?
I just because I said Wonderful Life, and you started to spaz.
By George, I love him.
What? But George, I love him. What movie do you think you're doing right now?
It's an angel. It's Christmas.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I got vertigo.
I've heard some bad imitations.
And
All
this
right,
isn't
that's
one of
it.
them.
We got no more time for this nonsense. Thank God. See you guys
Christmas
tomorrow at 3
miracle.
p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365.